97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Yeah, the hell with Sean Brace. First day of the tournament. Oh, my daughter has a concert. Sure she does. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Middays and Marks on 97.5 The Fanatic. As there is no Sean Brace today, which means Ray Dunn is in a different chair. So we say good morning to Brandon Dutz, who's producing today. What's up, Dutsy?
Morning, Johnny. How are we today?
How are you?
I'm great.
You're great?
Fantastic.
Still feeling the break. Dutsy's a big Broncos fan. So the Jalen Waddle trade, he said it was the best day of his life.
They won a Super Bowl in your life.
In the middle of Lover, Dalton comes up to me. He goes, "Hey, got some breaking news for you. Hear about the Waddle trade?" I said, "No way." I was jumping up and down, running back there for like 5 minutes straight.
I know. I came to try to find you during the break, and it's like, oh, he's running the hallways somewhere.
Couldn't stop smiling.
Peyton
right.
Manning threw 55 touchdowns in your life, and that was the best day of your life?
But they won the Super Bowl when he could barely throw anything.
Right.
Which is ironic.
You got to watch Brock Osweiler. Isn't that the best day of your life?
As we say good morning to everybody listening on 97.5 The Fanatic, on the Fanatic app, which you can listen worldwide, an amazing app. If you haven't downloaded, what the hell are you doing? Download the Fanatic app. Also, say to Alexa, play 97.5 The Fanatic. You can listen at home while you work, when you're pretending to do work from home on your hybrid schedule. And, of course, watching live or watching later on YouTube. Like and subscribe to 97.5 The Fanatic on YouTube. I put a fresh Phillies episode out last night, Philly baseball talk. So that's up there. I did a live last night. You can check that out. You can watch the show live. Get involved in our chat as we say good morning to Mr. Ray Dunn. Hi, Raymond.
Oh, Johnny, we're here. It's tournament day. We are 2 hours away. TCU, Ohio State. I know you're fired up. We're going to have ourselves a day. Tomorrow at Parks, too. I'm looking forward to that as well.
We will be at Parks Casino tomorrow. And Parks has has so much going on today and tomorrow. It's unbelievable. We'll tell you about that. But, yes, we'll be live tomorrow. I made sure that Ray is allowed out of the cage when Sean and I go out. Ray will also be there because he has to, you need an adult in the room.
I get stir crazy.
And, yeah. So Ray will be out there as well tomorrow. So we'll see you at Parks at 10 a.m. tomorrow. And we will, listen, we're going to talk a lot of tournament. I don't know how much we're going to break down the games because, frankly, I don't know anything about the games. You're the college basketball expert of the show.
Which is funny because every year I'm like, wow, I watch a lot of college basketball. And then it comes to the tournament. I'm like, oh, crap, dude. Like, there's no way. I get one round into my bracket. I'm like, yeah, I don't know anything about college basketball. So by 4 o'clock today, I'm going to tell you I know nothing about college basketball.
Well, listen, we'll get to that coming up here, but we got to lead off with the Eagles here as the big move came down yesterday. I didn't see it coming, but I know why it was. There was a lot of talk earlier in the offseason about Tanner McKee. Could he be available? Could the Eagles try to trade him for a third-round draft pick? And I believe the answer is yes. They will try to trade him. As the Eagles trade for Andy Dalton, they give up a 7th-round draft pick. Their worst 7th-round draft pick is what I saw reported, which is a great trade. Andy Dalton's making $4 million next year. And the bottom line is that I have more confidence in Andy Dalton, and this is with McKee there or McKee not there, but I have more confidence that Andy Dalton can come in for 1 week and win a big game over Tanner McKee. I just do. I don't want Andy Dalton to be my starter. I don't want him to play 5 games, but if there's 1 or 2 games where something happens to Jalen Hurts, Andy Dalton coming in and doing what he needs to do, managing the game, I feel good about that. So you pay $4 million. It's a premium price for a third-string quarterback. For a second-string quarterback, it's a real deal. It's a good value, Ray.
Right. If you're paying $3 million to number 2 and $3 million to number 4, though, it's like you're already going out there on free agency and paying one backup quarterback, one number 2.
Right.
It's a little redundant.
So I think the writing's on the wall that they're going to try to move Tanner McKee. And let's face it, Ray, this is Howie season. Mm-hmm. People like to say it's Howie season before free agency starts or at the trade deadline. It's Howie season. Every year's a little bit different. And this year, this is Howie season. Because he's got a lot of work to do. And he's got to be creative to get everything done. He's going to have to make some trades. They need an edge rusher like nothing else they need on this team.
Right.
And they're not going to be able to go out there and buy the edge rusher like they thought they were going to be able to do with Jalen Phillips. They need to figure out what they're doing with A.J. Brown and still get compensation and get another wide receiver in here. He's got to get depth on the offensive line. There's so much to do, but moving Tanner McKee seems like it's fairly obvious it's going to happen now.
Seems a little depressing to call this Howie season, though. Given the Howie seasons we've had before, Howie season being we just landed a 38-year-old backup quarterback and we're going to replace our expiring contract backup quarterback.
Not depressing at all.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I totally disagree.
Really?
Because now you get to see the surgical nature of Howie Roseman. Because he's going to take that third-round draft pick you get from McKee, and he's going to trade the third-round pick maybe to get the edge rusher from Minnesota, and then sign him to a new contract. Because you can look at it, and I'll hear people say, oh, the Eagles have a lot of draft picks. They really don't. They have a bunch of 5th, 6th, and 7th-round draft picks. What do they have at the top of the draft? He likes to move around. He likes to move up. He likes to trade players. He likes to maybe it's a player-for-player trade that he's going to do with Tanner McKee. Maybe the Cardinals look at Tanner McKee and say, hey, we really like him. Let's give him a shot. Hey, Josh Sweat, how you doing? Would you like to come back to Philadelphia? This is the difference between Howie and I'll bring up some other GMs or Dave Dombrowski who just writes the biggest check. Now he's going to make moves in the margins. Now he just can't write the biggest check to whatever free agent's out there and say, hey, look, I got this guy. And everybody's going, yeah. He's got to be creative. He's got to be surgical. And there's nobody better in the business than Howie Roseman.
And if his surgical nature does lead to a Tanner McKee trade that goes down the line here and you just laid that out perfectly and we get to it by the end of the offseason, I will laud you and Howie Roseman both for the work there. But yesterday, them landing Andy Dalton, one, obviously big personally for me, who's been called Ozempic Andy Dalton before by our YouTube chat. Appreciate that. That was big for me. Redhead QB, that's big for me. Not a lot of successful ones out there, so it was really good to see some representation in terms of redheads in the quarterback position being here in Philadelphia. Not so great the way things ended with the last one we had, but hopefully things work out better for Andy Dalton. Seeing that, though, what you said with Tanner McKee, it makes you think that he's on the way out. And even though the beats jump to it immediately, it doesn't mean anything for Tanner McKee. Don't worry about Tanner McKee. It just makes the most sense.
It does, but it doesn't mean that they have to get rid of him.
They don't have to. But if you're trying to get a little bit of draft compensation,
the writing's on the wall.
Yeah. Are you going to give him a contract?
Final year of a contract. He has shown, at least, I mean, I don't know if he's really shown it, but there's talk that teams are intrigued by his skills.
How could you not?
And the fact that let's also face this. The Eagles are looked at as a regal organization. They're one of the best organizations in football. Don't you want a guy that's come up and it will have played 3 years under the guidance of being an Eagle, right? So, I mean, now you're trading for a guy that's been a part of a successful organization. Whether or not he's a starting quarterback, I would say no, not a good one. But yeah, for a third-round draft pick, it's worth a lottery ticket to throw it out there. Who knows? Maybe he can be that guy.
Yeah, I think that's probably the line you're drawing, right? It's a day 2 or a day 3 pick. Like, if they offer you a 4th, are you taking it?
Maybe. I don't. Maybe.
Yeah, that's
probably
a day 2 pick. I think it's signed, sealed, delivered. Yeah, you know, you catch the next flight to wherever you need to go. But day 3, like a 4th-round pick, consider it. Would it be a 2027 pick? Because, the 2027 draft is this incredible draft class we keep hearing.
But that 4th-round pick could also be used to trade up in the 3rd round. So
right.
I mean, just because
it's all about value.
It is. It's all about value. And if Howie believes, but I think it's fairly clear the writing's on the wall. Final year of a contract for McKee. You're not going to give him a new contract to be. He wants an opportunity. He wants an opportunity to play. I don't know if that's going to be out there for him if he becomes a free agent. But there'll probably be a better shot that he has somewhere to play elsewhere. Jalen Hurts is the quarterback. I could sit here and say he's got no guaranteed money, and who knows what he looks like.
Thing that makes me chuckle.
In the Sean Mannion offense. But I mean, the odds are he's going to be the quarterback for longer than just this year.
Yeah.
So it makes most sense for McKee to move on.
But with that being said, they do draft to make sure that they have that backup quarterback position solidified. If you're going to move on from McKee, and you're going to have Dalton as your backup for one season, I can't imagine 39-year-old Andy Dalton, because Howie Roseman, as much as you say he's surgical in his nature, he's also thinking 5 years down the line. Is Howie Roseman then like, all right, what we do to move off of McKee, that draft compensation, some of what we have this year, is going to go to drafting a quarterback?
Probably.
And how early?
Depends. It could be, I'd said this before, I would draft a quarterback in the 2nd round if I thought he was the guy. I don't care. Worked for him before. Why not?
You just have so much you got to fill.
Well, they're not going to. I guess my point is that I would use a relatively high draft pick to take a quarterback. Look what they're getting for McKee. They took McKee. Yeah. What round did they draft him? The 6th?
6th?
Yeah.
Probably the best 6th-round quarterback ever drafted.
I can't think of anybody else that would have been a better 6th-round draft pick.
Yeah.
Honestly, as a quarterback. The name's not coming to mind. All right, 610-632-0975. 97.5. It is Middays with Marks on 97.5 The Fanatic. Raymond Dunn is in the number 2 chair today. Dutsy is producing. Negative Nate Tennyson is in the back as the associate producer. Who's doing YouTube today?
We got Zach hanging out with us.
Zach Silverstein
That's right.
is back there? No.
He got up early today.
I didn't even see him.
I don't even think that he's been in working here at 10 o'clock ever.
All right, so we have that. Coming up next, A.J. Brown's knees. A.J. Brown's his best memory is the Patriots winning a Super Bowl, but also probably the most difficult thing that Howie Roseman's going to have to do this offseason is try to get the most value for A.J. Brown. And what is that? And how much pressure is Howie Roseman under to do all of this? We'll talk about that coming up. And we got tournament talk coming up this hour. Don't go anywhere. It's Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, let's talk about what we're doing opening day. So it's 1 week away. You believe this? 1 week away till the Phillies are back, and we're kicking the season off the right way with our friends at Corona. So you can join me. My name's John Marks, if you don't know. Sean Brace, Ray Dunn, for our opening day pregame live broadcast. We're going to be at Maggie's Waterfront Cafe, Northeast Philly, next Thursday, March 26th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're hoping for warm weather because we're going to be hanging out on the river, grabbing a nice cold Corona, and join us and get in on the fun. $5 Corona Light Drafts, $4 Corona Extra Bottles. Plus, check this out. We're giving away Phillies tickets to our future home game and limited edition 97.5 The Fanatic opening day T-shirts while supplies last. And listen, I guess if that's the 26th, we would have some opening day pep rallies starting tonight. So Goshen Beverage, March 19th in Westchester. March 20th, Super Value Beverage in Warminster. March 21st, more beverage in Philly. They're all 4 to 6 p.m. Corona, the official cerveza of Major League Baseball. Limes in, play ball. You must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles make a trade. I'm Brandon Dutz, and the Eagles made their first trade of the offseason, acquiring veteran quarterback Andy Dalton from the Carolina Panthers. Brandon Lee Gouton of Bleeding Green Nation will join the show at 11 to break down the move. Another player in trade discussions is A.J. Brown, and ESPN's Adam Schefter joined Kincade and Salciunas yesterday and shared the latest.
I still would lean trade, yes. But again, there aren't a lot of logical landing spots. And I've seen plenty of receivers demand trades and be back with that team. There's a lot there.
Flyers got the overtime win against the Ducks, and Trevor Zegras' return to Anaheim and are back against the Kings tonight. Catch that one on WMMR with puck drop set for 10:30. After falling to the Nuggets on Tuesday, the 76ers are also back in action tonight against the Kings. Joel Embiid is listed as doubtful, and you can catch that one right here on The Fanatic with tip-off at 10 o'clock. Phillies fell 3-2 to the Braves, with Andrew Painter throwing 4 scoreless innings, striking out 3 batters. And March Madness is officially here. The men's NCAA tournament starts in just over 2 hours, with TCU and Ohio State kicking things off. This update is sponsored by TireRack.com. Rain or shine, drive with confidence on Vredestein tires from Tire Rack. Vredestein tires deliver precision handling, dependable traction, and quiet comfort. Shipped fast and free with 2 years of free road hazard protection. TireRack.com. I'm Brandon Dutz on the home of the 76ers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Weekdays with Marks. Coming up at 11 o'clock, Brandon Lee Gouton from Bleeding Green Nation will join us. His thoughts on Andy Dalton's that signal adios for Tanner McKee, and his thoughts on A.J. Brown. Believe me, I'm just as fatigued, maybe not as fatigued as everybody, but I'm fatigued with the A.J. Brown talk. But guess what? It's not going anywhere.
No.
So we just have to manage it so we don't tire people out making a big deal, because there's news pretty much every day.
Right. Mike Florio saying that the Rams backed out because of concerns over the knee is something new.
Right. So I saw people responding. I even forget what thread it was on, but someone responded saying like, "Oh yeah, sure, Florio's full of crap. He doesn't have an injury history." There's this, I don't know if you've heard of this website. It's called Google.
Google.com.
If you Google A.J. Brown's injury history, you'll see that he's had procedures done on his knees, and they still require drainage, and it's something that he's managing. And I thought this was pretty well known that because it's been talked about, that he talked about during the season last year. He manages it from week to week. This is something that he has to deal with. It's like when you have bad knees. Brian Westbrook had bad knees. Didn't mean that he missed games because of the bad knees. He had bad knees. So what do? You don't practice a lot. You manage the injuries, and that's what A.J. Brown has.
So I used the Google machine, and I found this site on Pattison.com that had a story from last August about when A.J. Brown was on with Part of My Take. And he talked about getting his knee drained twice a week and having to take time off. Wow, it is kind of incredible. That's something that we probably should have known about.
Yes, he gets his knee drained. I saw the same thing when I use Google. In addition to hamstrings and everything else, listen, like this happens with players. Look at Joel Embiid. But like this happens with players. So it doesn't mean that he's going to miss time, but there's a lot of people out there that continue to puff out their chest and say, No. I don't get that. AJ Brown, his value is his value. He's not a depreciating asset. Depreciating asset. He's not. He kind of is. Like he'll be 29. Jalen Waddle's about a year and a half younger than him, right? But wouldn't you agree that AJ Brown has already played his best football and Jalen Waddle has not played his best football yet? Jalen Waddle, I believe, is still on the rise. And A.J. Brown, I'm not telling you he can't have a great year this year because I think he will. But I don't think we've seen the best football out of Jalen Waddle. I think we've seen the best football out of A.J. Brown. I don't expect him to be better. This year, I'd rather have A.J. Brown. For the next 5 years, I don't know if I'd rather have A.J. Brown.
I think the upside of the next two with A.J. outweighs the best of what you're going to get from Waddle. I understand why a team wouldn't give up as much as the Broncos gave up to get Jalen Waddle as they would with A.J. Brown. Like you mentioned, 18 months younger than what he is. And ultimately with Waddle, you're putting him into a really good situation. A.J. Brown, I don't know where you're going to, like for the Patriots, is it going to be just that easy to say, this offense is going to be good? Yeah. So I understand why it won't work, might not work out to get the same compensation back. But I think for the next 2 seasons, if you get that peak version of A.J. Brown, problem is you're paying him for what, the next 3 or 4? And
well, I mean, there's outs and everything else. But
like, you're giving up that compensation, you have to pay him the big money.
But I guess to your point, and this is absolutely my philosophy. Man, I don't care about 5 years down the road. I was just in the Super Bowl last year, or I'm trying to get like the Bills or like the Ravens. I'm trying to get the Super Bowl. The NFL, you don't have these long-range plans of, I have to look out 5 years down the road. No, you don't do that. Of course, you're drafting and you're trying to make sure your team's good and whatever, but A.J. Brown should be acquired for this year and next year and then see what happens after that. But the depreciation of him and his value, I think, is there in a lot of different respects. The cost, the age, not that he's old, but also the knees. He's still, to me, I think he still holds good value. But, I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it, including who's negotiating with the Eagles against the Patriots. Is there anybody else out there?
It's every week we get like a flavor of the week when it comes to a team. We had the Chargers win there for half a second. The Rams were in there for half a second. We got a little bit of the flirtation of the Broncos, even though Adam Schefter did shut that down almost immediately on McAfee. It's like, yeah, the Broncos were never in on this. But every once in a while, we get like, oh, there's another team that might be interested in A.J. Brown. And it all just seems like all roads lead to him just going up to New England.
Right. Scott Boras is famous for stirring the pot.
Right.
And when there's not a market, he creates a market, whether it's real or not.
There's a mystery team involved.
But a lot of times there is a market. So Bryce Harper, when he went on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast, he talked about his free agency.
Yeah.
And he brought up the Dodgers got in and were offering him short-term, bigger money. That wasn't reported before. And I'll bet you that was Boris saying, hey, are you sure you're not interested? We don't have to have a 15-year contract. Hey, we can do a short-term contract. And then the Dodgers say, okay, Bryce Harper for 3 years, that's not a bad idea, right? So Howie going back to the Ravens, Howie going back to the Chiefs. Hey, are you sure? Maybe they struck out trying to get a wide receiver in free agency. Are you sure it could happen? I still think they can get a first-round draft pick, but it kind of ends there for me. I'd be surprised if he got much more than a first-round draft pick.
First to the fourth?
I'd be surprised if he got much more than a first-round draft pick.
Oh, wow. So you're like just basically a first round, that's it.
Here's my question. Can A.J. Brown come back after all this? From every standpoint, from a team standpoint, I mean, he can, but from the Eagles standpoint, from A.J. Brown's standpoint, doesn't it feel like that it's the toothpaste is out of the tube?
Well, he hasn't demanded a trade. He hasn't requested one, Johnny Marks.
That's true.
He loves Philly.
Yep.
I think it's going to be incredibly awkward for all parties involved. I think all of us, like, watching this happen in real time, that first press conference he has, and we're all going to be watching with bated breath, trying to figure out how exactly they're going to dance around this. I think they can make it happen because they've been respectful on the surface.
They can make it happen, but does either side want to make it happen?
If you're the Eagles, I think you want to make it happen.
AJ's played the game, honestly, perfectly.
Yeah, he's done a tremendous job.
He could very easily come back if he's not traded and look into the camera and say, oh, I didn't, because he never requested to be traded. He's never said anything publicly.
No.
He's legitimately said nothing publicly. Even the social media stuff has been cryptic. And then after the social media stuff, he admitted that he was frustrated, but he never said the quarterback sucks. It wasn't T.O. talking about Jeff Garcia or fighting with Donovan. Right? Like, we all know. We connect the dots. Everybody knows. Nobody wants to say it.
Yeah, when A.J. Brown does sit-ups, it's from the comfort of his house with no cameras on him. We got it. He does a good job of keeping that offline.
Man. And that's why I just want him to be happy, because I like him. He's a good fella.
I like him in an Eagles uniform. He's a good dude.
But if he did come back, then you're not worried about who your wide receivers are.
Right. From the Eagles' standpoint, you welcome him back and you deal with everything you have to deal with. Like that. Like, I'll go Jeffrey Lurie. You go down to that practice field the first day of OTAs, the first day of training camp. You go give him the biggest hug and tell him nothing's wrong. Howie Roseman, you do whatever you need to do to make him happy. Sean Mannion, you show him 25 pages of the playbook that are all designed for A.J. Brown. You do everything you can because he's that talented of a guy. And if you're you're in a position where if you're not going to trade him for something of value, make him feel valued here and make it work. Does it seem like that's a likely scenario? We'll talk to Brandley Gowton at 11, who says that, hey, 100% chance he's being traded. You and I both lean to him being traded. You are almost all the way up to the Brandley Gowton level. I'm not telling you it's the likely scenario for this, but absolutely I'm doing everything I can to make sure, hey, man, you're comfortable? You're good? That's a lot of money we're paying you to be a star wide receiver.
I'm down
to be that.
I'm down to 90% now.
Oh. Ooh.
I'm down to 90%.
What was the change?
Well, it's still 90%.
Yeah,
the negotiating power of Howie Roseman. If there's only one team that's really in, now your only negotiation power is if you want the player, you have to give us what we ask, or you're not getting them. And do the Eagles really, really want that? I don't know. I don't think they do. I think that they would like to move on. But I also know this, and this is why I'd said this before with the tease, that this is where Howie really makes his money. If you remember Carson Wentz, teams that were interested in Carson Wentz, Carson said no to everybody else. And I know the average fan would say, well, F Carson, I'm sending him there. I don't care. It doesn't work like that. The Bears aren't going to trade a first-round draft pick for a quarterback that's unhappy in Philadelphia and says, I don't want to play in Chicago. Sure, you could make the trade and then Carson can be unhappy in Chicago. No one wants to do that for a first-round draft pick, and you're giving him the keys to the franchise. So the Colts had said, we're not giving you a first-round draft pick. No. There's nobody else. We're not going to bid against ourselves. But if you want the player, and Frank Reich wanted the player, then you find a way to make it happen. They got a first and a third-round draft pick somehow for him, which is a steal. But they got it done. So that's what Howie has to figure out how to do. Because with Carson, he wasn't coming back. A.J. Brown can come back. So at least he has that to say, no, legitimately, we can bring him back. Carson Wentz wasn't coming back. And he was still able to get that value. Now, can you do that for A.J.?
You would think.
Yeah?
You would think. I mean, I would think you'd be able to get that value. Now, the first-round pick plus, it's not going to be a first and a second. Is it going to be Waddle-esque? With a first and a third, and then whatever you want to do, we're going to swap fifth-rounders because you like this offensive tackle.
They swapped four, so they got the lesser of a fourth-round pick.
Yeah. Could they get that done? I mean, that now kind of feels like the benchmark for Howie, because if Howie doesn't get that, we're all going to sit here and say, whoa, Jalen Waddle was worth this?
Would Howie because a lot of this is also ego, because now everybody in the NFL, what's the talk of the NFL when it comes to A.J. Brown? It's about what Howie Roseman can do, what can he get, because it's well established he's looking for the moon. Mm-hmm. And everybody realizes that you're not likely to get the moon.
Right.
But you can't take a second-round draft pick after Jalen Waddle just got a first and a third. You can't take a second-round draft pick after DJ Moore. You got a second-round draft pick for DJ Moore. Because then Howie looks like, oh, man, he overplayed his hand.
Hey, got a decommissioned satellite. If you ask for the moon, you can't just get whatever's floating around out there in space.
Brendan Dutz, did Howie Roseman overplay his hand, do you think?
I don't think so. I think everybody knew it had to be post June 1st just because they cap it. And I still don't see them getting the correct value. Regardless, I don't think he overplayed his hand. I don't think any team's going to pay that price because that team is the Patriots. And I think they'd rather just go into the draft, get somebody younger that fits on the timeline with May, and then just move on from there.
So let's check the Davis Honda text line. Feel the Davis difference at Davis Honda in Burlington. It's our regular phone number, 610-632-0975. That one number does it all right.
Really does.
You can call, you can text, you can also do the voice text, which we love. So you send a voice message or a voice memo via the text line, and it just leave your name, your location, and your occupation, and you can get in and get out and let us know what you think about that.
Over under 1.5 plumbers today.
I got to go under.
Under? I'm going to take the solid over.
If you're doing tradesmen, I would go over 2.5.
Okay, fair.
A lot of tradesmen out there.
So we're parlaying the under plumbers over tradesmen?
If you were to be a tradesman, what would you be?
Ooh.
I think plumbers are undervalued. When you're a homeowner and you got to get the plumber out there, I'm not saying it's a sexy job, but it's a well-paying job.
I probably would be like a car mechanic if I had to guess.
Really?
Yeah.
You would have went to Penco Tech?
Probably. Yeah, I feel like that's in the blood.
You have a mechanical mind like that?
I mean, I couldn't be a tradesman in general. We're just the only tradesman I know is the bar in Center City. That's about the best I could do for you. But if you were going to make me a tradesman, I feel like a mechanic would be the way that would go.
All right. Well, check the text line. For the first time, I do wonder if you're going to get that first round draft pick.
Ooh.
Maybe I'm not.
That's
giving
why
Howie
you dropped.
Roseman enough. I wonder if he does it for a second.
I don't think he does.
Well, here's what I don't want. I don't want it to be, all right, now it's past June 1st, and we're still getting all of these. It's in training camp. And Schefter's still doing the same thing. Well, somebody gets injured in training camp. Who knows what could happen? Maybe there's an injury. Maybe a team, maybe New England says, we don't like the wide receivers we have after all. And they revisit it. This literally could go into almost the start of the regular season. Could it go into the trade deadline? Yep, it sure could. And it may be almost selfishly, I don't want that. Isn't the best thing to happen a clean break?
Yeah.
Let's make a trade. If it's not before the draft, I understand that because of the money and the salary cap implications and things like that. If it's post-draft, that's fine. I don't care. I'll take draft picks for 2027. I'm fine with that.
It's a great draft. I don't know if you've heard. Everybody loves the 2027 draft.
Especially if you need a quarterback.
Yeah,
and the Eagles may need a quarterback. You never know.
Whoa.
But that's why there's the reduction of how confident I am a trade happens, because it just do people think that there's kind of a wink nod agreement of we'll get something done. There's a mutual, we haven't agreed to a trade yet. We'll get something done. Even if they're not saying that, the Patriots know they're going to get something done, and the Eagles know they're going to get something done. That's where most of my confidence comes from. They want the player. The Eagles know they want the player. The Eagles also realize, and the Patriots realize, hey, we're not going to totally bid against ourselves. We're going to give you fair value. But are you going to get Jalen Waddle to me? A first and a third for the kind of player that he is. I'm not doing that trade. He's already making big money.
Oh, you mean from the Broncos side of things?
He's making big money. If you're getting a year or two of him being inexpensive because he's on a rookie deal, now you pay the premium price. Man, him making $25 or $30 million a year, and I'm giving up all that stuff. No freaking way. I like Max Crosby a lot. He'll have a real impact. Even with the injury stuff, 2 first-round draft picks for a 29-year-old edge rusher? No, that's way too much. So I just couldn't see it.
I'm starting to think, and like what you said there about the Patriots and would they have a deal in place, that maybe outside of the draft compensation, we've had a couple of people have thrown this out there, and I don't think it's the route that they would go down. But if there is a younger wide receiver that a team that feels like the Jaguars, now they think their quarterback's figured it out. And Brian Thomas Jr. is not maybe what they want in terms of wide receiver. If they could make something work in that regard, I would look at this point if they're not going to get the draft compensation they want. Now, the problem is he doesn't want to be in Jacksonville. He keeps trolling us with all the Patriots stuff.
Not yet.
Not yet. I don't think is it really an NFL player that's dying to go to Jacksonville?
No, I don't disagree.
Even ones that grew up in Jacksonville are like,
by the way,
good.
Underrated part of Florida. Just saying. I've been down there. I'm not necessarily saying Jacksonville.
Right.
But you go south of Jacksonville, you have some really nice beach areas.
All right. So how would you rate it in terms of the places that you want to go in Florida? Top 5?
Yes, for sure.
Orlando, Miami, Tampa. I was
trying to buy a vacation home / well, this is 10 years ago on Crescent Beach, and I didn't do it, and I'm stupid for not doing it. But
it's all right.
Yeah, no, it's a nice place.
I'm an absolute dummy.
I don't think it's high on AJ Brown's list in Jacksonville.
He could be looking at Crescent Beach. You never know.
It's very nice.
New England's brutal in the middle of the winter. You don't want to go up to New England.
It is interesting that he wants to go to New England so bad, reportedly, and it gets cold up there.
It does. It's not great.
Him and Vrabel love each other.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. And he grew up a Patriots fan because he'll remind you that any chance he gets.
Man, what a time to be alive.
We need dudes on dudes to have him on again. We didn't get enough out of one podcast.
Well, maybe if they trade with him, you will get more dudes on dudes.
Maybe he just becomes the third dude in dudes on dudes.
Listen, who knows? Why not?
Dudes on dudes on dudes.
Why couldn't that be the case? All right, tournament starts. I know you have your clock on your phone there.
12:15. Right. We're almost there.
Are people taking off work today? Text line. You could have kept it going. I could do the whole show under that. All right. Davis Honda text line, 610-632-0975. Voice text, 610-632-0975. Is this a day that people still take off work or they just work from home and not work?
It has to be that. It's absolutely that. If you at this point are taking PTO for the tournament, congratulations on having a very important job because everyone else is just doing that. And with all due respect to our hybrid workers, I realize I'm speaking about my parents on that one, but you all are at home. The TV's on in front of you. Maybe you are in a meeting, but come on. Let's all be real about it.
But it also with the hybrid workers, like my wife has a hybrid schedule. She's supposed to be in the office Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. She's not exactly in the office every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Right.
Like today, she's not in the office.
Well, because she's big on the tournament.
She can't wait.
She's got the Horned Frogs win at 12:15.
She was up late watching Lehigh and Prairie View last night. What a game.
Man, I was tapped into Colorado State St. Joe's after midnight last night. Some NIT action. I probably need some help.
Is this still the best, I'll say, weekend of sports? Because that used to be the argument was, what's the best weekend of sports? What is it? It's either, is it divisional round NFL?
It's a good weekend.
Is it wild card round? You have the Monday night game, so you have Saturday, Sunday, you have triple headers, you have Monday. Is it still the best weekend in sports? Because, let's face it, college basketball is much different than it was, I don't even know how many years ago now. But players staying for 1 year,
right. Guys
guys going straight to the G League, NILs and all that other stuff. And just like we changed as a society, right? Like football in the 80s wasn't as popular as baseball. Baseball now isn't even close to where football is. The football is king. Like if you're asking me to rate my favorite sports, it's football, college football, and baseball. They're my top three. And really, Phillies, if you're asking Phillies, yeah, I like the Phillies over college football because I don't really have a favorite team in college football. But football. They're going to put a game on. They're going to put a game on Thanksgiving Eve.
So terrible. So terrible.
Why?
I just give me freedom from football for one freaking night, man. Especially because they're going to put the birds on it, and you know what's going to be taken away from me? The one thing I thought I could always count on, Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah, but you're old enough to where you don't need to get hammered drunk on Thanksgiving Eve, aren't you?
I'm single in my 20s, man. It's my Super Bowl. Oh, Ray, you're on the radio now? My dad listens to you. Oh, it's good to see you again.
I didn't think of that.
Great to see you again. It's been a while.
See,
I don't look the way I look in high school.
You notice, Dutz, it's all about drinking and women and everybody else and him being popular. And
Sounds like a
being
terrible
Rich
star.
be living in Vegas or Florida. I tell him this all the time. He needs to be someone more popular.
Such a terrible existence.
Yeah, you really got it rough. No, like and by the way, I don't know. Do I need 18 games? No, not necessarily, but I'm fine. You want to do Wednesday football a couple times a year? Absolutely. Night before Thanksgiving? Absolutely. When I hear the argument of just leave the poor NBA alone, let them have Christmas. Screw the NBA. I have no interest in watching the NBA on Christmas.
Well, they're getting
How
two
about
more
that?
teams now, so it's going to be a better product.
Just what the NBA needs is expansion. Water it down even more. Jesus. But college basketball is, I think, you have college basketball fans. You have diehards. Sean is a big college basketball fan. You're a big college basketball fan. But you don't see as many of the college basketball fans.
Yeah.
The John Rothstein types. And then you have me that used to be a college basketball fan, huge local college basketball fan. I've went from that to literally I'm watching my first college basketball during the tournament.
Is it a local, national, or institutional problem? Like, is it like locally the schools? Is it a national thing in terms of the just product in general, or is it just the NCAA has screwed it up?
That's a good tease. We'll talk about that coming up on the other side. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. We are coming up with that next. It is Middays with Marks and Ray and Dutsy, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, listen, let's talk about it. We're going to be live at Parks Casino tomorrow, Bet Parks. You kidding me? On the Friday of the tournament, first Friday of the tournament. It's going to be amazing. So check this out. All right, we're broadcasting live tomorrow right from the Bet Parks Sportsbook, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then Sean and Ray on Saturday afternoon, 12 to 3:30. Is that correct, Raymond?
That's right.
All right, so you can see us over the next 2 days at the Bet Parks Sportsbook. So today, first game, Ohio State, 2.5-point favorite against TCU, 4 p.m. Michigan State, big favorite against North Dakota State, 16.5. Michigan tonight, 31.5 points. Penn's a big underdog. That's your game later on. The top 4 teams are favored big time. So check it out. Watch all the action at Parks Casino. Win great prizes. And check this out. Special guests in person today at the Bet Parks Sportsbook. Coach Jimmy Lynam, Mark Jackson from NBC Sports Philly. How about our buddy Matt Cord? Mike Frieswick, former Temple star. Joe Conklin will be there. D. Lynam, Barrett Brooks, and more. It all starts today at noon at Parks Casino in Ben Salem. BetParks.com has all the details. You must be 21. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
No hot takes, no
All right, BLG, and I have a song for BLG that we won't intro him now, but I have one.
Okay.
I also have a new News at Noon with Ray Dunn that is not produced, but it's written, and it will debut tomorrow. I got to get with Nara to sing it, and it's a good one.
I'm excited.
The BLG is a good one, too. It just might be it's a good one.
All right.
It's an intro for BLG.
That's a tease right there.
Yep. Not today.
Not today.
It's not fully written. It's what I do in the car. I'm leaving the voice memos. Like people are going to leave. We have a voice memo here on the text line. I'm doing it in my phone with voice memos singing Ray Dunn. The News at Noon with Ray Dunn. News at Noon with Dunn, dun, dun, dun. But here, so speaking of that, the Davis Honda text line, we have a voice message memo. Here it is.
Hey, it's George the Plumber checking in from New Jersey.
There he is.
Just got to say with the A.J. Brown, I don't think he's going anywhere, but if he does, it's probably going to be likely 3 second-round picks, possibly, but I don't see anybody giving a first up. And if it is the 3 second-round picks, maybe it's one of their top 1 or 2 wide receivers coming back to Philly. But I don't see them getting the moon for it. I believe in Howie. I trust in Howie, but I don't think he's getting the bank on this one. Sorry, boys.
All right. Well, I mean, 3 second-round draft picks would be bank.
That would be.
This isn't the NBA.
Right. I'm looking right now at the old Jimmy Johnson draft chart.
Yeah.
And even if you get 64, you get 3 32nd overall picks. That's 270 points. That's equaling almost the 19th, 18th pick in the draft. So
All
that
right.
would be worth somewhere in the middle. So Jimmy Johnson says that's a haul.
I understand. Like it almost seems it's too seamless because it's if the Patriots traded their first-round draft pick this year, it's 31. They already know it's the bottom of the first round.
Right.
They trade next year's pick because they have to wait till after the draft. That could be 20. That could be 23. That could be 15.
It's a mystery box.
You don't know what you don't know what you're trading. Right? Is it behind what's behind door number 3 or what's behind the in the box over there? Let's
I'll
make
take
a
the
deal.
10 grand. I don't care what's over there.
Would you rather have the first rounder this year that you know is 31, or would you rather roll the dice and get a first next year?
For the Patriots specifically, yeah, I'll roll the dice.
So you would?
Yeah.
So the Patriots said, we'll give you this year or next year. You're choosing
Next year.
Okay. All right.
Next year. I'd like to make my team better this year, of course, but if we're talking about like just looking at it in that lens, yeah, I think next year makes sense because I'm rolling the dice against the Patriots being like they're not making the Super Bowl back-to-back years. They can believe that. That's why they should trade for A.J. Brown.
Right.
You have the chance to. Am I going to believe that in the conference with Mahomes, Jackson, and Allen, you're just going to be able to clear all them out and get yourselves there? I mean, heck, Bo Nix has Jalen Waddle now. What am I supposed to do? Believe that he's going to get hurt again?
It's an interesting point that I hadn't thought about. If you're the Patriots and you're Elliott Wolf, their GM, and you're Mike Vrabel, the team that you just beat to go to the Super Bowl just improved their team with a legit weapon. Jalen Waddle's is he a true number 1? Might be a 1A, right? I think he's a number 1. He's a 1A. You need to balance him with a bigger wide receiver, but they've improved significantly. That offense should be improved significantly. I think I'll take Drake May over Bo Nix every day of the week, but how do you make your offense better? How do you make your young quarterback better? How do you make sure he doesn't have that year-to-year decline like we saw from Jaden Daniels? Well, he's got to stay healthy, but you have to improve his weapons. The Patriots did not have good weapons last year.
No,
at all.
I don't think Romeo Doubs, and everyone can point out that I've probably watched more Romeo Doubs than the average Eagles fan due
That's
to my
true.
affiliation with the Green Bay Packers.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think that's doing too much for your young quarterback.
All right, let's clear. What do we got on the text line here? I know there's a lot on the text line. The Davis Honda text line. What do we got?
Yeah, there's some people upset with us. Tom Brady was a 6th-round draft pick. How could we forget?
Man.
Oh, just was right there.
Missed that one.
Forgot about that one.
Oh, are we sure he's a 6th? I thought he was a 7th-round draft pick. Can you check that, Dutz? He's a 6th? Okay. He was a 6th.
Eric from Virginia, I have a feeling AJ will be an Eagle this season. The asking price is probably too high. That's why you dropped 5%.
It is.
It'll be good to get Brandon Lee Gowton on at 11 after you've dropped the percentage just so he can reaffirm the way you feel about AJ being traded.
But he always says there's a 0% chance he comes back. I do the other way. I say a 90% chance he gets traded. So I guess I'm saying there's a 10% chance he comes back.
Yeah.
Because BLG still says 0.
0.
Is he up to a 5?
That would be big.
That's coming up at the top of the hour.
If BLG is starting to flake a little bit on that, I would appreciate that from my side of things.
All right.
We also got Charlie from Delco checking on the best weekend for sports. That would be the Masters weekend, according to Charlie.
Oh, my God. That's the best weekend in sports. If you're a hoity-toity golf fraud, maybe. Not if you're a real sports fan. Like, come on, give me a break. You can love the Masters, and I don't care. Love the Masters. I don't care. There's no way, even if golf is your favorite sport, you have to acknowledge it's not the best weekend in sports. That's like if you're a big horse racing fan. You have to look at the bigger picture. All right, maybe you love the Kentucky Derby or the Breeders' Cup. It's not the best weekend in sports. It's yours, but I'm talking about in general. As a sporting community, what's the best weekend in sports? Is it this weekend?
Yes.
Is it?
It is.
Dutsy?
Yes. I'm not even a big college basketball guy, but I'll enjoy the brackets, and even if mine is terrible, I'll still watch it.
But isn't it a year-to-year thing? Because I feel like more years than not, we're talking about it's kind of a dud. The first round or the first and second round were duds. Because if you get a year where it's buzzer beater at the wire from the shot to win it, then you come in here and you're like, oh man, this is the best time ever. But you have to have those moments.
But you're anticipating those moments. And that anticipation makes it the best weekend in sports. Because come at 12:15 today, we're going to be sitting here. There's going to be basketball on our television. You know what we're going to do? Around 12:40, we're going to have to put basketball on our computer. And then we're going to have to wheel in another computer and get basketball on that computer. And all of a sudden, you got 4 screens going. You got buzzer beaters here. You got a high-seeded team spanking some double-digit seed from a school you've never heard of before. And you're sitting there like, wow. Where's all the basketball?
Do you like when the one beats the 16 by 70 points?
I'll leave that game on. You got to just make sure. You got to make sure that they win by 40.
Last year, I was at the Bet Park Sportsbook, and there was a women's game that it was like 90-10. I forget what game it was. and they weren't even trying to score. They had their deepest bench players in.
So UTSA won the American. And they were rewarded with a 16 seed. They had a mediocre regular season. They got UConn, unbeaten UConn on the women's side.
John Kincade checks in. This weekend does not touch divisional playoff weekend or wild card weekend. 6 games. Damn right.
Yeah, you know what? How many more games we have this weekend?
Yeah, but they have to be good. The fact
whoa.
Wild card weekend becomes the best weekend in sports because you get a Monday night game.
Wild card weekend this year was good. Go look at the scores last year. For wild card weekend.
Don't let the facts get in the way of my argument.
I agree with that. Also, my thing of March Madness is you get to watch basketball from 12 in the afternoon to like 1 in the morning. I don't care about if it's competitive. I just get to watch basketball all day long.
It's great. I'm not trying to diminish how great it is because it is. It's a lot of fun. But it's also, without Cinderellas anymore in college basketball, is it as fun? Not knowing any players, is it as fun? All right, coming up, Brandon Lee Galton, who I'm sure is going to be working and watching the games from Bleeding Green Nation. What does he think? The latest with A.J. Brown and Andy Dalton. Good trade? And is this set up Tanner McKee getting traded, and what's his value? BLG coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles add to their quarterback room. I'm Brandon Dutz, and the Eagles made their first trade of the offseason, acquiring veteran quarterback Andy Dalton from the Carolina Panthers. Brandon Lee Galton of Bleeding Green Nation will join the show coming up to break down the move, and the Flyers got the win in overtime last night against the Ducks, and Trevor Zegras' return to Anaheim. Noah Cates scored the game-winning goal in overtime. Here's the call.
Cates into the high slot, looking backhand to Michkov, and Michkov was stopped. Batted back in front, the Flyers score! Cates banked it off a no-stall and in. Noah Cates wins it in overtime.
They are back against the Kings tonight. Catch that one on 93.3 WMMR with puck drop set for 10:30. After falling to the Nuggets on Tuesday, the 76ers are also back in action tonight against the Kings. Joel Embiid listed as doubtful. You can catch that one right here on The Fanatic with tip-off at 10 o'clock. And March Madness is officially here. The men's NCAA tournament starts in a little over an hour with TCU and Ohio State kicking things off. This update is sponsored by TireRack.com. Rain or shine, drive with confidence on Vredestein tires from Tire Rack. Vredestein tires deliver precision handling, dependable traction, and quiet comfort. Shipped fast and free with 2 years of free road hazard protection. TireRack.com. I'm Brandon Dutz on the home of the 76ers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic app.
we're back. Middays with Marks on a tournament Thursday tomorrow, live at Bet Parks in Ben Salem. We'll be in the Parks Casino, but we will be in the Bet Parks Sportsbook, and there's going to be a ton of stuff going on. So we're there 10 to 2 tomorrow. Ray and Sean will be there on Saturday from noon to 3:30. We'll be watching the games here. We'll give you updates on the games and everything, so you don't have to go anywhere if you're out driving in the car or whatever. But a somewhat unexpected move happened yesterday with the Eagles as they make a trade with the Carolina Panthers for Andy Dalton. They give up a 7th-round draft pick. Andy Dalton, is he the number 2 quarterback or is he the number 3 quarterback? To discuss it a lot more, the man from Bleeding Green Nation who doesn't sleep because you never know when things are going to happen. His name is Brandon Lee Galton, and he joins us right now. What's up, BLG?
How's it going, guys?
So because Schefter has said that, like, he takes his phone in his shower, and even when he's having relations with his wife, he has to have his phone there. Now, forget about the relation stuff, but do you worry that you'll miss something if you're too far away from your phone?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Especially at a time back in the day at BTN where it's literally just me, and I didn't have any other really contributing members and staff. It was kind of bringing my laptop and phone everywhere with me, no matter where I go, all the time.
But now, I saw Alexis was writing yesterday, so if you do need a day off, you're able to take a day off, and the site is still going to be taken care of. So at least you have a little wiggle room.
That's true, but there's still the feeling, it's the feeling oh no, I can't miss anything. You feel like you have to be on top of it.
Right. All right. Well, Andy Dalton to the Eagles. The first take from a lot of people is, well, Tanner McKee's getting traded. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a weird one from a standpoint of, from the cost perspective of a 7th-round pick. Okay, sure, why not? You're not giving up a ton to get him, let alone in a future year. But from a standpoint of the money he's going to make, $4 million it's not nothing. That's not negligible. So, and in fact, if he's going to be a 3rd quarterback, that's actually a lot of money because you look at the Eagles that pay their 3rd quarterbacks for the most part. Sam Howell last year, he's not making any kind of real money. So it's a head scratcher.
Yeah, because he's going to be the 2nd quarterback, and they're going to try to move Tanner McKee, right? Because you're right, $4 million on a team that is, even though they have cap space, they're strapped. They spend a lot of money, and they have a lot of needs right now. So they don't necessarily have to trade Tanner McKee if a deal isn't there to be made. But all the indicators, final year of a contract, he probably wants a chance where he has a better chance to play with Jalen Hurts being here. There's just a lot of dot connecting right now to where you think Howie Roseman, if he thinks he can get a 3rd-round draft pick for Tanner McKee, I think he does it. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, you would like to ideally, right? This is the point of the quarterback factory is you're trying to get some value here. You don't have to trade if the offers for Tanner McKee are just, terrible, then you literally have to trade him for just anything to get anything before he walks into free agency next year. That's the goal. This is to get some kind of value for him. I don't really know that I see the landing spots out there for him right now. That could always change, if teams kind of get disillusioned with who they have, if there's injuries, if the draft doesn't go the way they want to. So I think they're kind of keeping that door open. I just don't know if there's an immediate Tanner McKee suitor lined up.
Speaking to the draft there, given that the quarterback factory has to continue churning and Andy Dalton is as old as Andy Dalton is, would you expect the Eagles to address the depth chart at quarterback at some point in the draft?
Yeah, I absolutely think they should. It doesn't even have anything necessarily to do with Jalen Hurts. It has everything to do with the fact that, we're saying here, Andy Dalton's making $4 million. Last year, guys like Jarrett Stidham and Zach Wilson, does anyone really want them on the team? They made $6 million as backup. So you have to pay backup quarterbacks in the NFL real money. Marcus Mariota's going to make $8 million.
Jacoby Brissett last year, I think, made $12 million. BLG.
Yeah, it's very cheap to just get a rookie instead who are making $1 million, not even. And just to have that is very valuable.
Yeah, they drafted McCord a couple years ago, and he didn't end up making the team. So you're right. They would love, because we've seen them do this even before Howie was officially the GM. They drafted Kevin Cobb as the second round pick, really as insurance against Donovan's injuries and maybe to be the quarterback of the future. They end up trading him and getting more than what they drafted him for, right? Like they did it with A.J. Philly. Mm-hmm. Who's the most recent one? Who am I missing that they did it with? But anyway, they would love to draft a young quarterback, develop him, spin him off before he becomes a free agent, get better than your draft back. He's an affordable backup, like you had said. These veteran backup quarterbacks make a lot of money. When you're trying to save money, they drafted for Kenny Pickett because he was on a rookie contract. So they don't want to pay a backup quarterback $8, $9, $10 million a year. So it makes too much sense to try to get a guy, and he can develop with Andy Dalton as the backup this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And the off chance that, look, that guy ends up being really good, there's so much, obviously, surplus value at that point. That's not your plan A. You want Jalen Hurts to work out. But if he doesn't, then at least you have some kind of contingency plan in-house.
All right, couple teams that may have interest in McKee. And I don't know this, but it would make sense just from following the league. The Dolphins, right? They don't have a they don't have a quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. So Dolphins would make sense. The Steelers, maybe. I don't know. Not Cleveland. So there's at least a couple of teams that aren't going to be able to draft a quarterback this year, but would like to get a guy that maybe competes with a veteran or something like that. Do you think Tanner McKee's a good quarterback, BLG?
I do. I really do. I've seen him, every practice throw he's had in terms of like the Eagles practices that have been open to the media. He's looked good in practice to me. He's looked good in the preseason games to me. I think people are kind of way too down on him for this Week 18 game where he's playing with completely backups for most of the game. And mind you, he looks really good early in that game when he had Devontae Smith to throw to. They obviously take Devontae out once he gets to his 1,000 yards mark, and all of a sudden he doesn't look so good. So I actually do think he's a pretty good player. I don't know just how good in terms of a full-time starter, how many games you're going to win each season if he's that guy, but I do think he can be a starting caliber kind of quarterback in the NFL. I certainly think there are worse options to have.
Brandon Lee Gouton, Bleeding Green Nation. Is it well known among people on the beats? And I don't think the average fan would know this, but I certainly had heard many people mention this. A.J. Brown's knees. Mike Florio said yesterday that teams were concerned about the knees, and maybe that's a reason why the value isn't what the Eagles want for him. Is it well known that A.J., I guess he on a podcast he went on and talked about how he gets his knees drained on a regular basis. Is this well known among everybody that his knees are a little bit banged up?
I remember that was a big, it was a red flag when the Eagles originally even traded for him. That was something certainly to monitor that was going on. But to the extent that, this is extremely problematic and other players, don't have their own kind of issues, like I don't know that it's so prohibitive that it's this major issue as much as, especially right now, as much as it might be, let's say maybe 4 years down the road.
Fair price for A.J. Brown. And we'll get your, because we talk about you all the time on the air because you're a 0% chance he's back. We're going to see if you, because I think there's a 10% chance he's back. Then okay. It was 5 earlier in the week. So I've pivoted a little bit backwards. Wow. But like, it just seems like Waddle gets traded. And now it's like, see, that's why Howie's going to get a first and a second round draft pick. I don't think Howie's getting more than what the Broncos gave up for Waddle. I just don't. I'd be happy with the first round pick at this point. But are you starting to wonder how much his value actually – because his value is his value. Whatever a team trades is what the actual value is. We can say, well, he should be worth this, right. He should be worth that. It doesn't matter. So do you think the value has shrunk here as we went further along in the process?
Yeah, it's a fair point. Like the market price, the market determines the value, not just like, the price the Eagles say. Like that's not his actual value in terms of actually getting a deal done. I do think the Waddle trade affirms the Eagles' asking price for A.J. Brown, or at least getting closer to that. I think ultimately, as I've said before, what's going to get the deal done is Howie Roseman's unique security as a general manager and the fact that he's willing to trade for future picks, unlike some other GMs. And I think the Eagles kind of value those future picks more highly than some other teams because of that. And I think ultimately they're going to have to dip into future years, which doesn't help you kind of right now. But ultimately, as I talked about before too, the Hassan Reddick trade, eventually that day does come. And the Eagles are going to get a very high third-round pick this year because they traded Hassan Reddick 2 years ago now. So I think ultimately that's where the Eagles are going to kind of find that value is in future years.
So still 0% chance he's back.
Correct.
Okay. Moving from A.J. Brown to Hollywood Brown, when you see that signing, what do you see as the fit of Hollywood Brown with this Eagles team? And where is he someone that you can go into a season as a wide receiver too?
Not ideally, no. Definitely not ideally. I think, I think I like the signing. Like I think it makes sense. Obviously, they're reportedly interested in Darnell Mooney before they signed Hollywood Brown. It's interesting because we all talk about him as like a speed guy. He doesn't really have the yards per reception numbers of that kind of player. Like, hasn't been totally used in that role in the NFL. He obviously has some speed and playmaking ability. But look, if he's your third wide receiver again, and I think that's great, especially if Jalen Hurts trusts him. That's a big factor. Obviously, Jalen Hurts didn't, really throw to John Dotson a lot. And part of that's, I think Dotson not getting open a lot, but it's also quarterback and having trust. So, it's possible that relationship works out in a great way, but I don't think you want him to be your second receiver. I think you want him to be your third receiver.
Yep, and which leads us to the next question, which is, if AJ is traded, like a lot of us believe he's going to be traded, I start to worry. All right, you have Devontae, you have Hollywood Brown. Are we talking about Darius Cooper and a draft pick as kind of you have a 2 3s and maybe another 3? Or now you're worried. Now you're trying to sign a veteran, and you're like Antonio Freeman. You're bringing Antonio Freeman back for half a season. I just like to me going into the season, and I know you have Dallas Goedert back, which is great. But if you don't have a true number 2 and 2 3s and a 4, that's a problem.
It's a major problem. And again, this is why I'm not like of the mind the Eagles really should trade A.J. Brown in a perfect world, because they're getting worse, and I don't know how you're replacing that kind of production or even coming close to it. And I like Darius Cooper a lot, but I mean, let's be real. It's just you're so not having a sure thing there. If you're getting off of A.J. Brown, and like, you could even draft a really good rookie, and it's just hard to bet on that, especially where the Eagles are picking, and not in the top 10 or anything like that. So it's really tough, and that's part of the problem with, I think, moving on from AJ, is there's no really clear path to replacing him, and I think that's unfortunate, because it's just where the Eagles are going to end up.
And like Ray, we branded BLG as being a guy it almost seems like that you'd want AJ Brown out of town, that you're so sure he's going to be traded. I didn't realize you didn't want him out of town.
I actually had AJ Brown calling an Uber to the airport and BLG being the one that picked him up.
He picked him up, right? No, so he wants.
Yeah, that's not the case at all.
Okay.
No, yeah, I just think it's going to happen. Yeah, it's not my preference in what I want to happen.
If they came to you today and said, Brantley Gowton, biggest need on this team, where should we go target? What should we go after this offseason at this point? What would your advice to the Philadelphia Eagles be?
Yeah, I would really prioritize offensive tackle. I just think they need an offensive line in general. Like, that's when the Eagles win the Super Bowl, it's when they've had some of the strongest offensive lines, if not the strongest offensive lines in the NFL. And, with Lane Johnson getting older, and you having no depth really from last year. I mean, Fred Johnson's still a free agent. We'll see how that goes. But all your backups behind your starting offensive line are gone for now. They need to get someone in here who I think is going to be a core piece for them for years to come to help replace Lane, maybe play guard at some point in the short term if that works out. We don't know what Lane Dickerson's looking like. We don't know what Cam Jurgens is going to look like. They have to fortify that offensive line.
All right, Brantley Gowton is the best. Make sure you're multiple times a day checking him out on Twitter and going to the Bleeding Green Nation. So do you watch the games today as you're searching for stories and you're writing? Are you glued to the TV today, BLG?
What's on today? What am I missing?
The Masters, I think. What's on today?
Of course. Clearly not, because I'm not even locked in on that.
No, college, really? The tournament? 12:15 today, the first game?
I'm not the biggest college basketball guy. I'm more of a casual fan when it comes to college basketball.
Me too. Ray, I've been arguing with Ray because Ray says it's the best weekend in sports, and I'm like, please, wildcard weekend, you have games into Monday. NFL wildcard weekend's much better than this Fugazi college basketball.
Oh, BLG, no, don't do this to me.
He didn't even know what we were talking about.
Oh, God, I thought it was a bit at first.
Oh, by the way, so Ray, I just thought about this on the fly because BLG is very tall. Would you like to represent Middays with Marks on our knockout? We have the knockout tournament coming up next week. You may be busy, and it's short notice, but would you like to come and be a part of our team? Tickets to the game, and then you play on our knockout team afterwards.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's find a way to make it work.
Oh, that's fantastic. We're going to talk off air about how I need you to block Ricky Bo's shot. But
okay, there we go.
All right.
We got a ringer.
Thanks, BLG.
Thanks, guys.
All right, see you, buddy. All right, well, text him and just make sure he's there.
Yeah, we'll get him in there.
I think he's 6'9".
Yeah, he's a tall dude. First time I ever met him, I was like, whoa.
Even Dustin's hair isn't 6'9". It's close.
Listen, I spike it any higher, I might poke somebody on the 6th floor. I can't lie to you.
What did somebody on the text line say about was it Dutz's hair? You get ripped on the text line.
I don't want to pick on a kid, but what is that
Everywhere.
haircut?
It happens. Normal.
Yeah, but if you have hair like that and you style it like that, you have to know it's coming.
Right.
Like with me, when I wear one of the shirts, I know what people are going to say. I believe it looks great, and I pull it off. Dutz believes that he pulls it off. He's a handsome young man.
He is.
And he makes the haircut work, but he knows he's going to hear it. Right?
Yeah.
When I wore that big fatigue running suit that I got from Nike.com, I knew that it wasn't going to be for everybody.
Everybody or anybody?
Do you know what day that was? I was reminded of it last night because I was doing some stuff that we have to do for our YouTube videos. It was the day that Boba signed with the Mets, and I went crazy when they signed Real Muto. I went absolutely berserk, and I was wearing the fatigues. I look like a crazy.
I panicked.
I go. Are the Phillies insane? A 3-year catcher, a 3-year deal to JT Real Muto, a 35-year catcher. I'm mad about it right now, and I like JT now again. And he's not even a top 10 catcher.
There was no more pain than getting both those notifications in a 90-minute time period and having to deliver them to you and just knowing that you were going to go nuclear.
The best is, John, after Bo Bichette signs, you go, I swear, if they go to JT Realmuto, they gave him a 3-year deal, I'm going to lose it.
And they did.
All within the same show. We broke that news at noon, and then by 1:30, JT had signed the 3-year deal.
They went from saying, we're not going to give you the contract you want to immediately giving him the contract they wanted. In a matter of minutes.
Correct. We're not calling anybody else. We're just calling JT.
Oh, what a disaster.
JT, step in from the lobby. Let's sign this contract.
Anybody else kind of glad? And this isn't, everybody, I hate when people do this and it's like, oh, yeah, because you didn't get the player. So, of course, now you don't want the player. Anybody else kind of glad you didn't tie yourself up with Bichette for 7 years? Or no?
If it would have meant what Rosenthal wrote, that they probably would have ended up moving off of. Like, if you believe Miller's the third baseman in the future and your middle infield would have been Bichette and Turner, I could have got behind that. Watching him play third base, though, for the Mets, certainly this offseason.
He looks like a DH.
Woo! Yikes.
And you already have a DH.
And you already got a shortstop that people are upset about the long-term contract and his ability to play that position for a long time. Yeah, we were upset. I was upset.
The JT contract is still stupid.
Yeah, oh, yeah. The old two things can be true.
Exactly right. Both things can be true. He should have never gotten more. If you wanted to give him a 2-year deal to make him happy, otherwise, see ya. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Marshawn and not Stubbs, but somebody else can come in and be the catcher. I don't give a damn because his offense isn't as good as it used to be.
Stubbs the infielder. Stubbs the third baseman.
Can they stop talking about it? Are they real? I'm wondering if they're doing it they're this nauseating about pushing it that they're really going to have him on the club.
I don't think you would try and sell this any other way. To be honest with you, did you see where Stubbs played yesterday?
Left field,
third base.
He played third yesterday. I know he was in the outfield, but I saw another story about it because he was playing another position.
Right, because they're trying to sell you that this is good. I don't need a guy that can't hit playing all over the field.
Well, didn't they just sign a guy that can't hit that plays all over the field? He's projected to be that second utility guy. Because you're going to have the utility guy.
Dylan Moore, we're talking about?
Yeah. You have the utility guy that can't hit. You get the
At least
utility
he can
guy
play the positions.
Well, you have the utility guy like Sosa that when he plays, people think he should be a starter, and he's really not. But he's got a good bat, and he's got a lot to him. Then you got the utility guy that sucks. The Bruntlet, the guys that are hitting 180, but they can play all over the place.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I want a guy that at least can play the position. You're gonna put Stubbs in left field for me. He can't play left field. You know he doesn't add anything at the plate. Just let him manage the AAA rotation, please.
All right, so coming up, we have Blankenship did a press conference in Houston.
Yes.
And it's being sold to me. Would you agree with this? It's being portrayed that maybe he's taking a shot and not being wanted in Philadelphia. We didn't hear the audio. We have it. But we saw the article tweeted out, and then people were commenting almost like the Blankenship that it was. I don't know because I didn't hear it.
Yes.
And I'm assuming most people that are on Twitter commenting didn't hear it either. They're just commenting on what they think.
Right.
Because if you read the tweet a certain way, he says that it's the first time he's felt wanted. So a lot of people, including our own Sean Brace, is saying, Blankenship said he wasn't wanted in Philadelphia. And it's like, okay, well, I don't know about that.
From exciting White to exhausting White. We'll see if we're sick of him by the end of
So we're going to play it, and we'll decide real time if it was a shot at the Eagles.
All right, I'm in on that.
That's coming up next. It is Middays with Marks 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, let's talk about what we're doing tomorrow. Man, this is, even though BLG is included on the tournament, I can't wait. I can't wait for the games to start today, but I can't wait to get out to Parks Casino tomorrow, to the Bet Parks Sportsbook, because they got a lot of going on, including, man, TVs. I'm telling you, I don't even know how many TVs. We'll have to count them tomorrow. But we'll be there 10 to 2 tomorrow, live on the air for a special broadcast. Sean Brace, myself, Riggedy Ray Dunn, broadcasting from the Bet Parks Sportsbook. And then again on Saturday, Ray and Sean will be out from 12 to 3:30. And you have a bunch of games today. The first game, the 12:15, Ohio State is a 2.5-point favorite against TCU. Then you have Michigan State, big favorites. Michigan, huge favorites later on tonight. And then the local flavor, Penn, 9:25 start, 25.5-point underdogs against Illinois. So get some skin in the game and bet on all the action on the Bet Parks Sportsbook. Hey, listen, if you can't make it to the Sportsbook, get to the Bet Parks app and their online casino app. It's amazing. If you want to come out, you can play Pop-A-Shot with the pros. There's also the Bet Parks human slot machine and special guests in person all weekend long, today and tomorrow. Coach Jimmy Lynham. Mark Jackson from NBC Sports Philadelphia. That's Ray's buddy.
My guy.
From the Temple broadcast. Matt Cord will be there. Mike Frieswick, the great three-point shooter from Temple. Joe Conklin, D. Lynham, Barrett Brooks, and more. It all starts today at noon. Parks Casino in Ben Salem. BetParks.com has all the details. You must be 21. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles add to their quarterback room. I'm Brandon Dutz, and the Philadelphia Eagles made a trade yesterday with the Carolina Panthers getting quarterback Andy Dalton for a 2027 7th-round pick. Brandon Lee Gouton of Bleeding Green Nation joined the show earlier. You can listen to the full interview of that on the Fanatic app. Flyers got the overtime win against the Ducks, and Trevor Zegras' return to Anaheim with no case scoring the game-winning goal in overtime. They are back against the Kings tonight. Catch that one over on WMMR with puck drop set for 10:30. 76ers are also back in action tonight against the Kings. Joel Embiid listed as doubtful for this one. You can catch this one right here on the Fanatic with tip-off at 10 o'clock. Phillies fell 3-2 to the Braves. Andrew Pena threw 4 scoreless innings and struck out 3 batters. And March Madness is officially here. The men's NCAA tournament starts in a little over an hour with TCU and Ohio State kicking things off. This update is sponsored by TireRack.com. Rain or shine, drive with confidence on Vredestein tires from Tire Rack. Vredestein tires deliver precision handling, dependable traction, and quiet comfort. Shipped fast and free with 2 years of free road hazard protection. TireRack.com. I'm Brandon Dutz on the home of the 76ers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
We're back. Middays with Marks, Ray Dunn, Brandon Dutz in his hair. And if you haven't seen, if you don't go to our YouTube, or you cut, sometimes you do, it's more of a reason to tune in today because you have Dutsy in his hair. Now, I would say when Nate does the show, Nate has, on the other end of the spectrum, has impressive hair as well.
He does.
Nate.
He's a very well put together guy.
I would hit the negative Nate drop, but my
Your
screen,
I don't understand how yours isn't working.
we didn't fix it. We haven't done anything to fix it. We keep forgetting.
Where's here? Wait, I got
Dutz, can you get Dutz or Nate? Can you send a message to engineering or somebody to come down?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, so I can use.
They
it.
heard from me too much this morning.
Yeah, we had some technical issues earlier.
I called all of them.
Yeah, but you have to. Something
yeah,
goes
no.
wrong, we need to do it. All right, so read Blankenship. Ray, so the tweet that I saw or that was sent to me is let me see. It says, and it's from a writer for the Houston Chronicle. It says, Reed Blankenship, an undrafted player, had never truly felt wanted in any of his first 4 years in the NFL. That is, until the Texans called on the first day of free agency and laid out a plan for him. How Houston sealed the deal. So a lot of people read that and said, what do you mean he's never felt wanted? What is he saying about the Eagles? What is he saying about Philadelphia?
What's he saying about me, John?
You thought that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of it.
Dylan certainly thought that. He sent it to me, and I said, all right, I could actually see the context. Because he could have just been riding as an undrafted player, you never feel wanted. No one drafted you. And now the Eagles also didn't want to bring him back in free agency. All right? Like, they're essentially telling him, we don't want you. Right?
Yes.
Okay. It's also, a lot of times players understand, hey, I'm getting a paycheck. They have a lot of players they need to pay. It's easy to see why they wouldn't bring me back when they drafted somebody last year. You could take that route. So where do you think he went here? Is this a woe is me?
Kind of seems like a woe is me.
All right. Here's Reed Blankenship talking about not being wanted. This was his press conference with the Texans.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just wanted a team to want me. Like, I was undrafted. I felt like as an undrafted guy, no team really wants you. I mean, you're just kind of just put on a team, and then if you make it, you make it. If you don't, you're just another statistic. Like I said, I really think that Houston wanted me and had this sense of calmness with it. And I don't know, I just feel really different about this place. It's a different sort of edge I feel like to my career, and I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of fun down in Houston.
Oh, all right. I mean, I don't. A little bit of a resentment towards the Eagles. I don't know. The reality is they didn't want to bring him back. They could have brought him back. They could have said, no, we know we have a lot of players that we need to pay, but we want to keep Reed Blankenship. I understand why he left. Just like I understood when Trey Burton left, just like I understood when Vaitai left, just like I understood when Seumalo left. They're going and getting big contracts because you outprice yourself. Price yourself. Just like Milton Williams got a ton of money. Milton Williams is a good player. Ojo, when he leaves, because he's going to leave. And, these players didn't talk like this. Now, the chip on the shoulder, undrafted free agent, no one wanted you. Man, the Eagles gave him a shot, and he earned the job, and it never felt like Reed Blankenship was an afterthought, and they were like, all right, beat it. He just outplayed what they were willing to pay him.
Yeah, exactly. You got your money, man. You got your contract. You're going to go play for the Texans. I get it. You built a life in Philadelphia.
So you don't like what he said?
Yeah, irritating white.
So,
I mean, come on, dude. Like, you got the idea also that, nobody wants you when you're not drafted. It hurts not to get drafted. I haven't experienced it. I mean, I guess technically I have experienced it. Nobody called my name in the draft.
I wasn't drafted.
Yeah, nobody called my name in the draft. So, nobody called my name in the draft. So, I could understand from that perspective feeling like nobody wants you, but you ended up getting a deal with the Eagles to come here as an undrafted free agent. You then earned your way onto the roster. They then continue to give you opportunity after opportunity
to make this contract. You won a Super Bowl.
Right.
You have your Exciting Whites podcast, which is obviously continuing again.
I know.
Oh, now I see where this is going. Now I understand Dutz. He already was he wanted Exciting Whites to stop because he wasn't coming back to Philadelphia. And I had said there's no chance in hell it stops because they're still buddies and they're still white. They can just do it from different cities. And you call it the boring white, so you don't even like the podcast.
Now it's becoming personal. Now I'm going to have to
Well, I'm the one that kept saying, of course they can keep doing the podcast.
Of course they can keep doing the podcast. Sure, they can do it remotely together. Yeah, the exciting mics continue. All is well in that world.
So I need this content. I need this to be talked about, not in a press conference. I need him to get a little bit vulnerable.
So is Coop going to ask him?
He should. I mean, this isn't the Dudes on Dudes podcast. You actually should get it on a personal level.
Hey, what do you think of Houston, man? It's great.
So he's from the South. I also know he talked about how they have, the rodeo shuts down where the Texans play for a whole month. I don't know if it's a state fair or whatever, but he's like, I'm from the South. And when you hear him talking, he is from the South.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good fit. I'm happy for him. Ray, I think you're being immature if you hear that and you take offense to it. Or you're irritated.
Yeah. All right. I'm a little mature. Let me be immature on this one because, truthfully, listening to him talk, it's like, yeah, okay, you weren't wanted in the draft. You did get an opportunity with the Eagles. There are players that go through college that are like, oh, yeah, my phone's going to ring. I'm going to end up on a roster. No, you get an opportunity. They saw something in you. They continue to give you the opportunity. You got an opportunity to start in the NFL, and they continue to build you up.
But what did he say?
He said he wasn't wanted. This is the first he's felt wanted. You spent 4 years here, man. You went to 2 Super Bowls.
He was undrafted, and they didn't make any attempt to sign him.
How do you know they made no attempt to re-sign him?
Do you think he did?
I think they probably did.
Or do you think they said, hey, come back, depending on what the market is?
Yeah, depending on what the market is. He repriced himself out. He played too well because they gave him too many opportunities to showcase himself.
So, in other words, see ya. I'm not telling you that's how I would act. I'm saying it's not unreasonable for somebody to say, well, damn, why didn't they want to bring me back? It's not like he made a ton of money. This isn't a Milton Williams contract.
And I understand what you're saying there, but it's not as if they just said, hey, kick you to the curb, goodbye, we don't want you. He was here for 4 years. He was here for 4 years. It's not like he wasn't wanted here.
It's a fair – coming out and ripping the team would be ridiculous.
Right.
Feeling a certain way after the Eagles didn't make any attempt to re-sign you and you go to Houston, yeah, I think you do feel a certain way. I'm okay with that. Davis Honda text line, either the text line, 610-632-0975, or send the voice text. We have a bunch of voice memos coming up on A.J. Brown. 610-632-0975. And the phone. Can we play it again? You're such a baby, man. I thought we're supposed to be this big, tough, thick-skinned fan base, and we're not. We're a bunch of wimps like you.
I thought he was a tough guy. I thought he was tough. Big safety in the NFL.
Here's Blankenship.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just wanted a team to want me. Like I was undrafted. I felt like as an undrafted guy, no team really wants you. I mean, you're just kind of just put on a team, and then if you make it, you make it. If you don't, you're just another statistic. Like I said, I really think that Houston wanted me and had this sense of calmness with it, and I don't know. I feel really different about this place. It's a different sort of edge. I feel like to my career, and I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of fun down in Houston.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. When I met her, I felt a whole different type of way. It was nothing like the last one. Oh, it's love I've never felt before.
We have A.J. Brown reaction as well, a bunch of voice memos, 610-632-0975. And we have any other babies out there that have to, like, you're really reaching to be mad at Reed Blankenship here.
A little irritated. I'm not going to go, this is not going to ruin my day. Just to hear him say it, though, is like, all right, dude.
You say it's irritating.
Yeah, I wasn't wanted. You were wanted. You got a contract. You started for, 4 years for this team? You were obviously wanted.
All right, that's coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
The Birds are making some.
All right, news at noon. Not with Ray. With Dutz. We need a nickname for Dutz. Can If Bayless or the text line or the YouTube chat give it? I don't know. I just want Dutz works.
Hair Jordan?
Huh?
Hair Jordan?
It's not bad.
It's just the first thing that came to mind.
That was good.
It's not bad. It's not bad for Dutz.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not offensive. It makes him look good.
MJ comparison right there.
If there's anybody you want to have a nickname over, yeah.
His hairness?
Hair Jordan kind of works.
Sorry.
I
Please
don't mind that. It's actually not too bad.
try to beat that on the text line. I didn't mean to ruin the bid with one.
But we can have multiples. Hair Jordan's perfect. It's 2 1-syllable, or Jordan's a 2-syllable. Air Jordan. You know, everybody who doesn't like saying Air Jordan? I'm wearing Jordans today.
Oh, those are nice.
These Jordans I only wear occasionally. They were made leprechaun traps by my daughter. I came downstairs and she had a ladder going up, and the idea was to trap the leprechaun in the shoes because they're really high topped.
Were there any traps? Did you find any?
Surprisingly, again this year we didn't catch any leprechauns. I keep telling them it's really tough to catch them.
It is.
But they keep trying every year.
Ah.
At what age do you stop buying into? I mean, what age do you think that you stop doing the leprechaun traps? My daughter's 10 and a half, and she's still her 10.
Yeah, but the oldest is always the one where it lasts the longest.
And that's happening.
It's going to be really soon. You're running out of magic.
Was this the last year? Because she had this really complex leprechaun trap. It should have caught the leprechaun. I'll just say that. It was very well engineered.
Once you realize that you're not catching anything, that's usually where.
That's how I know that it's not just they thought they were putting Lucky Charms in there. I mean, Dutz still makes leprechaun traps at home, for crying out loud. He's still trying to.
He actually tried to put a trap out for me. I was like, dude, that's kind of offensive.
You do look like a leprechaun. All right, so give me the Davis Honda text line, what people are saying about Reed Blankenship. People are such babies.
Unwanted? Wasn't Reed made a captain?
He was made a captain and then told to beat it.
They never tried to replace him, and he says he didn't feel wanted. That's the crybaby.
Ooh. So this is, are these angry texts or are these irritated texts?
It sound irritated. This one says, sounds like a whiny white. How can you say you were unwanted? You weren't arbitrarily put on the team as an undrafted free agent. Teams seek you out. You have the option of where to play. What a bunch of BS.
All right, so here's my response to all of that, including what you're saying right now.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back to here, okay? We work in a very cutthroat business.
Yep.
Whether it's play-by-play like you, radio hosting, if you don't produce and advertisers don't want to advertise on your show and you're not getting great ratings or all of these things, you're as good as gone.
Correct.
And even if you do have success, sometimes it doesn't necessarily matter. Companies decide that they're going to move on because they have somebody that they can bring in for less money or whatever. So you're at the Fanatic and they make it's the Ray Dunn show on 97.5 The Fanatic, and after 2 years, and you're like, whoa, like my contract is expiring, and they say, you know what, Ray, we're going to move on.
Yeah, that station up in Rochester's looking for you.
Right, or they're negotiating with you, and they're giving you offers that they probably know you're going to refuse because they have somebody else in mind. How do you feel after that?
Feel like maybe
that you're not wanted.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He had success. There's only so many teams in this league. Like, all right, let's go with that example where, all right, it's not just my contract that's up, but they got to lock in John Marks, and they got to lock in.
Oh, that's millions.
Yeah, exactly. They got to lock in John Marks and NBC Sports Philadelphia's Bill Colarulo. You know, I realize, hey, listen, there's just only a certain amount of money this company could spend.
Well, the difference is he's able to go make $20 million. And
right.
With you, there's another radio station that could possibly hire you, but you're not the odds of you getting a full-time job.
Right.
The Ray Dunn show's very little.
Very little. But I think from Reed Blankenship's example here, they got to pay Jordan Davis. They got to pay Jalen Carter. They got to pay, Reed Blankenship. If you believe you're at the level of those guys, that's great. That's great to have that type of confidence in you. But it's a reality.
It's the comparison we have is because the reality is that if I were to lose my job here, Like that's a big deal because
Right.
I'm not moving. I could go to another city and get a radio job easy.
Yeah.
But like I'm not doing that at this stage of my career. Sure, I could try to do Sirius or satellite or do national radio. Sure, but like that doesn't. It's not a sales guy that loses his job and then you can go out and get a new sales job. In these specialized jobs, it's tough. Blankenship went and made a huge contract, so I get it's a little bit different.
Yeah, and I just look at it from this comparison again, is that, like, if you realize there are other people that are up for contracts and they have to make decisions, like, that's part of the nature of it. You can feel hurt by it, but it's not like they didn't give you an opportunity. Like, if the Fanatic did that, like, again, knock on wood for me on that one, but, like, if the Fanatic did that with me, I think there's a level of gratitude of, like, yeah, they had this college guy that they just plucked out of obscurity. They trained him up. They put him in a position. And for a while there, I got to do what was good enough to go market me for a next job. He was plucked from the undrafted free agents. They saw something in him.
It's kind of like
they worked with him. Yeah. I'm the whiny white. I'm the irritating white. That's what I am. I'm Reed Blankenship.
He's definitely white. That's for sure.
No one's confusing that.
All right. We have an A.J. Brown voice memo. All right. What do you got, Dutz?
What's up, boys? Ken, the educator from Lancaster. Just want to chime in on the probability of AJ being traded. We have fluctuated on that entire conversation for weeks and months at this point. John, at one point you were 100%. I know you're down a little bit today. The problem is very few things in life are 100%. There are some examples, however.
Stop it real fast. Just pause real fast. I never said 100%. I was 95.
95.
And 95 was in the last week or two.
You just got
I was at 80, up to 90 to 95. Go ahead.
That Andy Dalton is in town, you can be 100% confident that Ray will take advantage of the fact that they look alike as he tries to pick up his Cougars in the local bar. Other things that are of 100% confidence is that AJ wants to be traded and that the
Correct.
Eagles want to trade him. The problem is you don't always get what you want. Howie needs to make the best deal for this team. He cannot let AJ go for a deal that is not equivalent to his talent. So he'll look and he'll be patient. And if it doesn't happen, who knows? Maybe with the new offensive coordinator, you see an offense next year that just clicks, and we've had a lot of talent to do it. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
How about
That's a great text.
Yeah. That's great.
And that's what we need from people.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Right there. It had a little bit of everything. So it didn't occur to me when BLG said, I don't want to trade him. I just think there's a 0% chance he's coming back. And I think that I have talked myself into him wanting him to go because I know that he wants out. And to me, it feels like it's inevitable that he's gone. But when you think about it, what's my biggest concerns with the team this year, right? It's edge rusher, and it's what's going to come of the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, you have a number 3 that I don't want as your number 2. And if he's going to be your number 3 or your number 2, then you're going to have to draft a player. You have to bring in some veteran, probably on a 1-year contract, or you're going to overly rely on Darius Cooper, which would be a big mistake. And then I look at A.J. Brown, or you could have A.J. Brown back and not a first-round draft pick. All of a sudden, A.J. Brown, Hollywood Brown, and Devontae Smith look like a pretty good trio of wide receivers, right?
Yeah, Brown, Smith. Your lawyers to trust.
And I have his jersey, A.J. Brown's jersey. So it's still relevant for another year, at least.
You should want him back.
Here's my question, too. If A.J. got on a lie detector test where he has to actually tell how he will feel in the future, so you're also predicting, could he play a year this year without it becoming an issue again? Dude, I don't need trade requests. I don't need trade demands. I don't need social media posts. I don't need bad body language on the field. That's my biggest thing with AJ. It's just not that he wants out. You saw it on the field that he wanted out. You saw it off the field that he wanted out. The owner was hugging him because he felt bad for him. Poor AJ.
Yeah, do you, instead of restructuring his contract, you add a little, part to it of hey, you get 3 social media posts over the 18 weeks. Spread them out, man. You get to skip media 3 times this season. Spread them out. Yeah, it's hard for me to imagine getting through a season with A.J. Brown without him having that type of moment.
All right.
And that's just kind of what you're managing. It's managing the talent. It's, the
you're
idea
right.
that some people are more equal than others when it comes to stars in the NFL.
No, it's a lock that he's going to do it again if he comes
right.
Back. It's just how toxic is it for the rest of the team? Is this a year where the players say, all right, I can't do this again this year? Last year, we understand the offense was struggling or whatever. Because as a fan, I don't want to do it again this year. And I love AJ, and I just want him to be happy, right?
I want to be happy in Philadelphia. That's right. I also just want to be happy.
But he's not going to be happy in Philadelphia. And if you want him to be happy, Dutz, then that's why you trade him, because you want him to be happy.
Do you think in the bar light at 1:15 in the morning I could pass as Andy Dalton?
Yes.
Sweet. I got to redo the hair.
You probably don't remember this, and we're up against it, but there was a guy that looked like Vince Young. He really looked like Vince Young. And he would go to the bar and pretend he was him.
Oh.
And I saw him out in Manayunk once, and he would even do the hook 'em horns.
I know someone that pretended they were Jake Elliott.
Really?
Yes.
You could do that if you shaved the beard and dyed the hair a little bit.
Not right now. Back when he was making 64-yarders, yeah.
Coming up, the news at noon with Brandon Dutz. What does Dutsy have in store? I can't wait to find out. Everybody has their own little flavor for how they do the noon at noon. Dutz is coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
March Madness is here. I'm Brandon Dutz, and the men's NCAA tournament begins in just under half an hour with TCU and Ohio State kicking things off. One of the teams representing Philly is Villanova, who will play Utah State tomorrow afternoon. Head coach Kevin Willard joined the show on Tuesday, voicing his confidence in the team heading into the tournament.
We feel great about our season. You know, we had a really good season for a young team that was put together in about 2 months. These guys have had a great attitude, have played really unselfish and hard.
Flyers are back against Los Angeles Kings tonight. Catch that one on WMMR with puck drop set for 10:30. The 76ers are also back in action tonight against the Kings. Joel Embiid is listed as doubtful, and you can catch that one right here on The Fanatic with tip-off at 10 o'clock. The Phillies fell 3-2 to the Braves in spring training, but Andrew Painter threw 4 scoreless innings, giving up 1 hit and striking out 3 batters. This update is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Every now and then you find a deal where you get more and pay less. Now that's a good deal. That's Straight Talk Wireless on Verizon's 5G network. Find it exclusively at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. I'm Brandon Dutz on the home of the 76ers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic app.
Dutz, I think we have some new beds in there. At least I emailed to put him in.
Yeah,
But a
I'm
little
gonna
bit later.
Next segment.
Yeah, it's good. There's a Public Enemy and another Rage Against the Machine.
Yep.
All right, TM, we're back. No Sean Brace today. You know, the first day of the tournament.
At his daughter's spring concert. Yeah, sure.
Wait, did you see the picture on the text line? Someone looks like they put an AI picture of him, and it's him in a bar holding a beer and like, throwing chips around.
Jersey J, here, I'll show you. I was actually on Twitter to show Sean this. This is where he's at right now.
He has some wings, a beer. Yep, that's him.
Yeah.
That's Sean. No,
He's at the boathouse in Conchi.
He did tweet out a picture standing in line of the concert.
Oh, yeah.
Which could have been from whenever.
Which also, you could, at 11:30, go to the line at the local school to make it look like you're going to a concert and then just walk right to the bar. I don't doubt that someone's having their spring concert today. I doubt the fact that Sean Brace is attending a spring concert.
No, so I believe he's at the concert. My question is, does he fulfill the full obligation of full concert, it's over, you take the pictures? Because really what he could do is he could say, hey, why don't we go get lunch or something to his wife?
Mm-hmm.
Let's, it's over 12:30. Let's go get lunch. And then from there, he can go to the boathouse and watch the games. But that's what he's not going to do.
He's not making it home with them.
He already said that because she's going to go back to school.
The one thing that she does have working, like his wife has working for her, is that Beef is an AC.
But he already has plans. He already said yesterday what he was doing. He's going to something. I don't know if it was a bar or somebody's house, but he's going to something. So, yeah, 12:30. Yeah.
He's going to hang out with his other boys. He doesn't have any normally named friends.
Sean's best friend's 20 years younger than him. Yeah. And his name's Beef.
Right. He's never mentions like a Jack or like a Zach or like a John.
It's Doug?
Yeah, or Doug. Like it's Beef.
Beef.
Or a
Porch is a guy that.
Porch,
that
that's the other one.
Before Porch, yeah, that's his other
like,
one. Yep.
Who are these people?
That's Pie Face Brace. That's him right there. All right, the 12 o'clock hour of the program, as always, brought to you by, what is it brought to you by, Ray? I can't find my Service First HVAC.
Yeah, flip side.
As always.
Offering 0% financing, 48 months, rebates, tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com.
You're damn right, ServiceFirstHVAC.com. News at noon with Dutsy.
News at noon with Ray Dunn. News at noon with Dunn.
All right, we're going to start off with Mad Dog. Ray, obviously, as you and I know,
love it.
When Mike was here, the Mad Dog impressions were a weekly thing. So yesterday, they were talking about the March Madness bracket. They were talking about the fact that they have to travel a lot, where the games are, because they're all over the U.S. And let's just say he wasn't too happy about certain teams having to travel all across the country.
I cannot believe everybody wants to praise the committee. I thought they did a lousy job. Send LIU and Long Island. They put them in the same region as UConn for the fourth time. That to me made absolutely no sense. They're playing tomorrow afternoon. You can't make them play at midnight, get on a plane and go west to Portland, Oregon. That's a joke. They got to play Thursday afternoon in Portland, all the way out to Portland to play an afternoon game. I hate this. You could have put them in Washington, you could have put them in San Jose, and you could have put them in Chicago. Instead, they put him in the freaking Toyota Center, and here comes the defending champ.
Oh, he's the best.
He really is.
When Stephen A. does Stephen A., it's just Stephen A., and sometimes it's funny, but it's Stephen A. I don't think his colleagues are laughing. When on ESPN he's doing that, everybody in the background is cracking up, like he's a comedian doing jokes. And he's been doing it for years. He's been doing it on the radio for years because he's playing Mad Dog Russo, but he is
Mad Dog Russo.
He is. That's who he is. It's unbelievable.
He's the best parody of himself.
Oh my God! It's like he's better than Pacino at playing himself.
You mentioned Stephen A. That's Stephen A. post Skip in this whole First Take era where he's taken over ESPN. The single greatest thing he's done is make Mad Dog a part of First Take.
I agree.
It was the best personnel decision they've made.
Because you're not overusing him. He's not every day. Stephen A.'s idea of bringing in the different guys every day is very smart.
Oh, it's a genius play.
Yeah, it really is. It's a very smart move. But you have to have guys that can do it. And God, you know what it is for Stephen A.? It's heavy lifting when you have to do that show 5 days a week.
Yep.
Because you got to talk about stuff even when there's nothing to talk about. We suffer from the same thing. He knows once a week Mad Dog's coming in and he's nuts, and he might be talking about eating gummies or being on gummies or stuff, or you get that.
And you're going to get all the digital interaction that you want for the week. You'll get exactly what you need from him.
The producer gives him that stand-up where he goes crazy and they laugh at him in the background.
Yeah, what's he mad about?
Yeah.
That also, I don't even know what he's mad about in there. I'm just like, I'm listening to him. I don't even know if he knows what he's mad about. I don't know what he mentioned.
The travel.
He mentioned LIU. Yeah, but he's talking about going to Portland, all these different things. I couldn't follow which team he was actually upset for.
So I believe the reason that he's most upset is Long Island University, and he's in New Yorker. I don't know how much of an attachment he has to it, but he
Big
knows
Rod Strickland fan.
He knows he might be. He knows about it because of Rod Strickland and because he's from New York, and when New York's a big basketball town. So when a local team like LIU makes the tournament, that's a big deal, and that matters to him. So you know what they're doing? They're taking something that matters to him and put him in Portland. Put him in Portland, Oregon against the defending champions. Like I can't put him in Chicago. Yeah, so he looks at it that they're screwing him.
I understand. LIU's playing in San Diego against Arizona, not the defending champions and not Portland. I just don't know where he's upset about. And I was upset for LIU. I like Rod Strickland. Ty Strickland played at Temple when I was at Temple. Ty and I became decently buddies while he was on the team.
No way.
I was covering the team at the time, so you just get to know him.
Was that Rod Strickland's son?
Yeah. I'm rooting for the Stricklands. I see Ty posting all the time about LIU. I'm thrilled for them. I was disappointed they got Arizona, but they're not in Portland.
Rod Strickland was a smooth point guard, man. He really was. Rod Strickland was a good player. All right, what else do you have, Dutz?
All right, we're ahead. Jason McIntyre. Rays played him a couple times at News at Noon. He was talking about the Max Crosby trade yesterday with the Ravens. Went on for about 6 minutes, but at the end of the clip, ironically, they sneak it in. One of the worst takes I've ever heard in my life. He compares the Ravens and the Raiders and their playoff chances. Take a listen.
And there seems to be a lot going on in Baltimore. I will just say, overall, now that this ordeal is done, I get the sense that this is going to work out great for the Raiders. You guys know how those narratives work. It's like, oh, the sky is falling, Raiders tank. They get Mendoza, they're terrible. I don't know. They got a veteran center for their young quarterback. They do have some good picks in this draft. They went and spent in free agency, and ultimately, I think they spent their money pretty wisely. I mean, is it too hot of a take to say the Raiders are bigger contenders for a playoff spot next year than the Baltimore Ravens are? I don't know if the Ravens are going to be better, folks.
Oh, my God. Was Cowherd was off?
Yes, he was off. McIntyre was leading the show.
Yeah, McIntyre's the worst, and I love telling the McIntyre story. I've told it on the air. You've heard it?
Yep.
Yeah, McIntyre, when he owned and ran the Big Lead, the website, before he sold it for a lot of money, he lived in Bucks County, and he used to listen to a combination of Mike Miss and Francesa. And he hated Mike, but he liked me. So he used to email me, and I would email him, and he would get stuff put up on the website and stuff. One time he asked me to email, Mike said something, and I don't know what it was. He wanted me to email him the audio so he could kill Mike. And I said, no. And I'm like, you want me to, give you something that may get my host in trouble? And he cut me off. He never responded back to me after that. I haven't spoken to him since. It's 2011.
Man, that's a shame. Really seems like the type of guy you'd want to be boys with.
Listen, I'll give him credit because he's worked his way up for sure, and he's been successful, but he's the ultimate weasel.
Yeah.
And he sounds like a total idiot.
He's found a great lane for himself, though, on that other side of Cowherd. Because the number of people that don't like Cowherd, it's not that they're debating every day, but it's the fact that, he kind of gets to be that secondary voice of Colin. Come on.
But, yeah, he's the first guy that has challenged him because when Joy worked with him, she was there for the personality and the updates. But McIntyre challenged him. A lot of times he doesn't know how to go back to people. He didn't typically get people challenging.
No, and that's been the good dynamic of their show. And I'm a Cowherd guy.
I am too.
I mean, just this format, the way Cowherd does it.
He's the best in the business.
Yeah, I was going to say, second to none. So, but McIntyre found himself a good lane.
He has.
Not exactly. If I had to pick one guy on that show, though, to have a beer with, it's Cowherd 10 times out of 10.
McIntyre's the last guy that I want to have a beer with.
Right. So I'm upset for you that friendship went by the wayside.
It's a shame.
It's really a shame. You guys aren't going to be able to go to the Raiders playoff game together next year.
See, Dutch, back then, used to have to, and it was something I did. I made sure there was a couple local blogs, and when Mike first got on the air, it was like, we had this big interview. How do you get it out there? There wasn't Twitter. You weren't posting clips on Twitter or social media. So the blogs used to have to do our dirty work. And working relationships with the national and the local blogs was a big thing.
I always find it funny. Ray will remember when we did the NFC Championship remote from Rally House. Mike played his celebrity game he used to play on Twitter because it was new, And when Justin Bieber called in, all the celebrities called in, like that to me was cool. Because I don't realize that Twitter was so small when he first started. Because it wasn't around when he first.
I was working with Mike.
Yeah.
They actually had me on the air that day.
Yeah, I was gonna say you were. I'm pretty sure you were on. Yeah, you were on the air that day. Yeah.
Mike. Bill texted me and said, "Yo, can you call in? You were on the air with Mike with Bieber." And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." I don't remember any of it. Honestly, the only thing I remember is Mike talked to Trump, and he wanted off the phone after like 6 or 7 minutes, and Mike wouldn't have it at all. And P. Diddy won the tournament, not Trump. How about that? All right.
Yep. Things that have aged.
It's just interesting however many years later where we are.
Yeah, what, 15 years later?
Holy cow.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got, Duts?
All right, sticking with basketball here. Tracy McGrady was on the Cousins podcast with himself and Vince Carter. Too many podcasts, by the way. It's just everyone's got
Not
so
enough.
many things going on.
Not
I know.
enough.
It's like Ray should start his own one. Get Ray his own podcast.
Yeah.
But T-Mac was talking about the NBA expansion, and he was actually very against it. Actually went off on it, and I thought it was a pretty interesting take.
I'm all for trying to increase the revenue.
Which is going to do, particularly the teams, Vegas,
Yeah.
going to bring crowds.
Yeah.
You know what it's like to go back to Seattle. Oh, they're playing Seattle. Like they're diehard.
But I'm just like, we got 30 teams, got a lot of players, 450, maybe more now. We don't have the talent to be trying to start 2 more teams. I just don't think we have the talent to start 2 more teams. Can we take 2 teams away and add 2 teams?
To still be at 30.
To still
so
be
you're
at
saying
30.
eliminate 2
I'm
teams
saying-
to still stay at 30.
I'm saying keep it at 30, 32. We just, the talent is, to me, is down, bro.
I agree here wholeheartedly because, John, I don't know if you caught it, but the Brooklyn Nets had 24 first half points against the Thunder yesterday.
I did.
mean, that is just really bad. And I believe, if I'm right, that the Grizzlies would be the team coming over to the East if they were to do that. So I don't think that they should expand. Obviously, as we know, for the owner's sake, it's more money in their pocket, so they're going to go through with it. But I'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I have no interest in expansion or really anything else. Expansion, like you said, it's going to happen because they're going to make more money off it. Does the NBA need 2 more teams? Of course not.
I feel like just Seattle would be good. Vegas, I mean, I know why they're doing it, but I don't feel like that's going to be good attendance-wise. Like, are people going to be that invested to go watch the Vegas team?
So the Golden Knights, and that's in there, and thank you, Dutsy. Golden Knights do very well, and they're also a really good team.
They do. Yeah, and that's the thing. The NHL with that wave of expansion, and this is crazy hockey talk from the 2 of us being the ones that deliver it, but with the way the expansion draft went, and the way they were able to be good so quick, it actually ended up being fantastic for the sport in that city because it gave Vegas fans like a destination spot for sports.
They didn't win, did they?
They went to
the finals.
But yeah, they didn't. I don't think they won.
They went as far
Feel
as the
fast.
Flyers have in 50 years in their first or second year in existence, which is crazy to think. But see, here's the question. Because in the NBA, the expansion is going to be a lot different than NHL.
Right.
So can they have a team that's bad at first? Will they sell that place out consistently if the team's not good? I don't believe they will. In the NBA, typically, if you don't win, you don't sell out your building, unless you're the Knicks
right,
or places like that. In the NHL, are you selling out your building if you're not good? I don't believe so. The Vegas team's good, so they're there. Baseball, for me, will be a real indicator of the sports city that Vegas is because it's a long season. There's a ton of games, and it's really not it's going to be – they're going to have the roof because it's too damn hot not to. But will they – because I think there's enough. My buddy Steve Cofield has done sports radio out in Vegas for a long time, and he thinks that it's set up to where the 4 professional franchises can be very successful because there's enough going on. There's enough people that are interested in it.
And it's a novelty trip. And I think that's the biggest thing for Vegas, like in terms of getting
helping tourism.
Yeah, when the Phillies schedule comes out, and I look at like, oh, when are they playing in San Diego? When are they playing in Chicago? When are they playing in Boston? Vegas is added to that list.
It is. You're right.
And like for me, that it's not even going to be a fact of the ballpark. It's going to be the fact of, yo, boys, let's line it up for a long weekend in Vegas and go watch the Phils out there.
It's also an easy trip, though. There's a ton of direct flights. There's tons of places to stay. It's not that expensive. You can get secondary tickets very easily now, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. And you can have a lot of fun, and you're in Vegas.
Right.
You go for a couple days. You don't need to be out there for more than 3 days, 2 or 3 days. You watch 1 or 2 games, boom, you come home.
And that's kind of what bios this, I think, NBA team to start, is the novelty of being in Vegas as an NBA franchise. Like, you're going to take that trip out to Vegas? Oh, the Ace. Well, the Ace is the WNBA. So whatever they call the team, the
Yeah, I don't even the A's.
the Blackjacks are in town. Like, I don't know, whatever they are. Like, that team, you're going to be like, all right, yeah, let's go out and watch for a night whoever they're playing, because it's probably going to be decently priced tickets if they stink, and you're going to get the opportunity to go. So I think that bios the team. Seattle, it's going to be great to see Seattle have a franchise again. They get all their history back from OKC, which would be good for that group. So, like, I feel good for the cities in the sense of, like, Vegas will fulfill its purpose there and Seattle fulfill its purpose in the fervor for a franchise. But it does kind of feel like these March games, the last thing I need is another Nets. The last thing I need is another team that stinks. Like, the way that this league is right now, in March, you've got at least 10 teams that have very little interest in doing anything.
All right, Dutz, I changed my mind. I want expansion now to Vegas and Seattle. You know why? Whether you have 30 teams or 32 teams, you're going to have teams that blow regardless, and basketball in March is going to suck, whether you have 32 or 30 or 40.
You know what?
teams.
Basketball in March won't suck, Johnny! We're moments away
from tip. Do you have the channel on?
Oh, the channel's on.
Do you know what channel True TV is?
I had to look. Did you see during News at Noon the maneuvering that I was doing? Or it might have been in the 11 o'clock hour. I did not.
No.
I was doing a lot of work over here trying to figure out where exactly we were getting it. But we are getting close to tip off of the NCAA tournament. But back to that point for a second. Like, yeah, it's going to stink, the NBA in March. But it's just the product, man. I thought you were going to hit me with there's going to be 2 more teams that go to a conference finals before the Sixers. I thought that was what the punchline was.
No, it's probably another one, too.
That was going to hurt.
But a team in Vegas is awesome, even though I don't know if I would want to go to Vegas for a Sixers game. But severely underrated, going to an out-of-market fan travel trip to see the Phillies.
Oh, yeah.
Is awesome. And I just went with my uncle. Uncle Jamie was actually there, but my Uncle Dan, my late Uncle Dan, and my dad, and we went to Chicago. And we verboed a nice-sized condo in Wrigleyville.
Oh.
And we walked, it's probably like a 7-minute walk to the ballpark. It was one of the best trips I've ever taken. I can't say enough of it. It was so much fun on so many different levels. We saw 2 games. We sat in the bleachers for a day game, which Dutz was wild. If you want to experience the 700 level of the Eagles with it being in the Midwest, the closest thing you're going to find is the bleachers for a day game of the Cubs.
I did a night, so unfortunately I didn't get the whole day game experience out there, but that was amazing. Wrigleyville itself
is awesome.
I am dying to be back at Sluggers like nobody's business. They're in Wrigley for my birthday. There's no shot I'm getting out there for my birthday. I would die to go back for just one more day of a game at Wrigleyville and go to Sluggers afterwards and just have a couple and be trying to swing in the cages of that. That also made me believe more in the arena, like within the city instead of just the sports complex, because that one, and then San Diego. I mean, Petco Park. I'm going back out this year. I am making.
You're going this year,
and I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I can't. I don't think I can make it. It's the lead. In fact, I know I can't make it. What am I talking about? It's the week before Memorial Day.
Week after.
Oh, it's the week after.
So it's the Monday they play on Memorial Day in San Diego.
So they play on
Memorial Day in San Diego. Yes. No, I had to tell my parents, I was like, sorry, I'm not going to be around for Memorial Day weekend down the shore. And you know what they said? Great.
Yeah, what do we
We'll invite someone,
All right.
Free room.
Uncle Jamie checks in on the text line. Mad Dog was also angry that St. John's was sent to San Diego. So there were 2 New York teams that had to go to the West Coast. So he's inconvenienced because of the time and the fact they made him travel from East Coast to West Coast.
The gummy's going to put him to bed before he gets to see the end of that game. Yeah, it checks out. Listen, I actually respect the hell out of a guy that his takes are just absolutely what inconvenience him the most, because I also am kind of that way. So I'm in on that.
Yeah, Mad Dog thought that it was like the selection committee only looked at the New York teams. It didn't care about anybody else.
How is Mad Dog Russo going to react to the way we see at St. John's? And St. John's, to me, was underseeded. Them getting a 5 to me was a little ridiculous.
Sure.
Yeah. I didn't think I was getting a hard fight back on that one.
I'm not even gonna argue because it would be disingenuous. I have no idea.
But that bracket, as we get ready for the brackets of the conversation, that entire region right there is a region of doom. If you got your winner coming out of that region where St. John's is, where they're going to get Kansas, where they got Duke, potentially those 3 teams all being one little quadrant there, that's a lot.
See, that's real analysis right there. And it's what people when I see people rip me. They'll be like, he doesn't know, like, the hockey player that I'd never remember his name. Or it's like,
Hughes.
this is what I've seen a lot of. Every host should be required to know more than the listener about every sport. So I'm supposed to know about hockey. I'm supposed to know about college basketball.
What do we have Nate for if you have to know about hockey? That's what we have Nate for.
Yeah, no, like I always say, if the team's good, I'm in. But if they're not, I'm probably not watching. I'm just not. The 76ers start to suck. Guess what? I'm not watching as much. I'm not watching these games without Embiid playing.
You're going to tell me you weren't tapped in Tuesday night?
Ray, I'm not watching them play unless I have nothing else to do or I'm at the game.
You're telling me you don't want to watch them with
No.
Quentin Grimes and VJ versus the Kings tonight for the Tankathon?
By the way, folks, I had the wrong channel on. Now we're ready to go. TCU, Ohio State. It's on CBS.
All right. Well, we have that coming up. A bunch to catch up on as well. 610-632-0975. So that is the text line, 610-632-0975. It's the Davis Honda text line. Feel the Davis difference at Davis Honda in Burlington. It's also how you can send us a voice text or a voice memo. You just have, if you're an iPhone user, just when you type in 610-632-0975, even save it as a contact. Go like you're sending us a message, but then hit that little plus button next to where you send the message, and the box will come up with a bunch of options. Hit the audio button, and it'll start recording right away, and then just send it, and then we get that voice message, that voice memo. All right? Because Ray believes we have just begun the best sports weekend of the year.
I know that.
Well, a lot of people are disagreeing with you, including our own John Kincade and me.
Oh, John and John.
There you go. Like, listen, we're like the new Mike and Mike. John and
That's
John.
what I'm saying.
We'll discuss that coming up next as the tournament's getting started. It's Middays with Marks, 97.5, the Fanatic. But, yeah, let's talk about the tournament for a second. You know where we're going to be tomorrow? We're going to be out and about. We're going to be at Parks Casino inside the Bet Parks Sportsbook for our live broadcast. That's from 10 to 2 tomorrow, and then Ray and Sean will be on Saturday from noon to 3:30, watching the games, hanging out, a lot going on. You can watch the action at Parks Casino, win great prizes, register to win Iverson and Maxey signed jerseys and basketballs. You can play Pop-A-Shot with the pros. Play the Bet Parks human slot machine. They had that there last year as well. And check this out, special guests in person at the Bet Parks Sportsbook. Coach Ginny Lynham, Mark Jackson from NBC Sports Philly, and that's Ray's buddy. PA announcer, Sixers PA announcer, who's retiring. Say your goodbyes to Matt Cord, who will be there. Mike Frieswick, Temple alum, Frieswick, Joe Conklin. Dee Lynham will be there. Barrett Brooks and more, and we're live tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It starts today, right now, Parks Casino in Ben Salem. And again, like, you can go and bet at the sportsbook, but if you can't make it to the sportsbook, just get the Bet Parks app. There's so much going on. BetParks.com has all the details. You must be 21. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
March Madness is here. I'm Brandon Dutz, and the men's NCAA tournament is officially underway with TCU and Ohio State starting it off. As of right now, TCU leads Ohio State 6-5. The Eagles made a trade yesterday, acquiring veteran quarterback Andy Dalton from the Carolina Panthers in exchange for a 2027 seventh-round pick. Flyers are back in action tonight against the Los Angeles Kings. You can catch that one over on 93.3 WMMR with puck drop set for 10:30. 76ers are also back in action tonight against the Kings, and you can catch that one right here on the Fanatic with tip-off at 10 o'clock. We are just 1 week away from Phillies opening day, and they play the Rays later this afternoon with Tim Miza taking the mound. This report is also sponsored by the Hartford Auto Insurance. Drivers 50 and over can count on Hartford Auto Insurance for protection that brings peace of mind. The Hartford, your protection is their passion, provided by the Hartford Insurance Group, Incorporated. I'm Brandon Dutz on the home of the 76ers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, we're back. Middays with Marks. I mean, engineer was emailed about the touchscreen here.
Correct. And they put in a ticket for it.
Oh, that's right. You got to put in the ticket.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to start unplugging stuff. I'm gonna print my own ticket. I'm going to start unplugging stuff in a second. And if that takes us off the air, so be it. We're 12:30, 2.5 hours into the show, and the touchscreen, I still can't get it to work.
We can get off the air early. I get to watch some of the NCAA tournament, so
it's not a bad idea.
Stop pulling away there, John.
And because the herb bouquet is certainly more important than anything else that's going on at the company. So,
mine's not even.
No, yours isn't working out. The pot's not up. Put the pot up. Come on, Dutz.
Okay.
You don't have to put that. Well, it is smart to pot it down during a commercial break.
I had it down
You
because
suck.
I thought I was going to have to play the news at noon over because we only had like 30 seconds left on it when we were still going. That's why I had it down.
Okay.
What's the reasoning behind that?
All right. Well, I just want the option to play stuff when it comes up.
What is going on back there?
Right. All right. Whatever. All right. So, earlier, Ray, in all his glory of college basketball, and I can't even see the friggin' TV because of these cameras in front of me. So it's
such a brutal seat for that.
Yeah, I mean, the games on might not. I mean, they shouldn't even be on. What are the early games that we have? Right? What are we looking at right now?
We are
Ohio State?
looking at TCU at Ohio State. Horned Frogs right now with an early lead, looking to get out and go.
And this is where I would hit. How about that?
Yeah. How about that? Right. I'm enjoying. This was they always start with an 8-9. I believe that's usually the standard for television procedures here, because they want to start you with a good game. Like then they're going to sneak in. At some point, we're going to get the
next game's 1-6.
Yeah, well, it'll be like a 4. I think it's a 4 and a 13 this year. They're coming down the stretch. I'll get you the score. The ones coming up here, but this is a good one, just in the sense that Ohio State's had a really, really high-powered offense. And I believe their league score is one of the most efficient, if not the most efficient scorer in the country. This TCU team, decent defensively. Edmonds, really good knockdown three-point shooter that if he gets hot, could carry them. There could be a game where you're like, wow, this guy's awesome. Then you never hear about him again. Really, really good first game for the tournament. I'm excited about this one.
All right. Troy, Nebraska is tips in a little bit here. USF in Louisville. That's the 1:30
Take
tip.
the Bulls.
And then we have, who's HPU?
High Point.
High Point University. I know the University of Hawaii made
When are
the
they
tournament
playing?
first time.
Tonight or this afternoon. They got Arkansas. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but see, just making the tournament is a huge accomplishment.
Of course. Absolutely.
And that's right. It's been so long since they made I don't know how many years. I think 2012, maybe?
Yeah, it's good to be in the dance.
So it's been a while.
But yeah,
they're a 425 game on TBS. See, I like this when you have chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And there's chaos. Now, hopefully there's good finishes and things like that. And I think that's what makes that's what can make this day the best day, is if the games are great. But if the games aren't great, this isn't the best day. It's just a bunch of basketball
So
games
you say
on
that.
this.
You'd say what, Wild Card Weekend's your favorite?
Wild Card Weekend's my favorite.
So I just want to ask you, if we go down this path, the 2023 NFL season, the Texans' 45-14 win over the Cleveland Browns, that really got you going? That really got the engines turning for you?
Yeah. Because I know the teams and I know the players. I don't know any of these players or teams. Like, you may know more than the average fan. There's most people out there that are watching these games have no idea what they're watching.
I'm just saying, for you say you have to have good games. Wild Card Weekend this year finally provided some good games. The 2 seasons prior to that, they were crap.
But it's still the NFL. This is college basketball. If the games aren't good, I don't care. That's the difference. I care in the NFL regardless. I mean, Jesus, we spend year-round talking about the NFL. We don't talk about college basketball until the day the tournament starts.
And I got a million games to watch today. It's going to be on every television. If the standalone slate for an NFL game stinks, I'm sitting there, oh, great. I'm really glad I know that Joe Flacco's the quarterback for the Browns as they're getting smoked.
I'm not as mean as John Kincade, but John Kincade on the text line says this weekend doesn't touch divisional or wild card weekend. You have 6 games for the NFL. These people are nuts. What a joke. Everybody's such fake college basketball fans, like they're really into it the first 2 days of the tournament because they're afraid they just admit that we're all casuals for the most part. We're all casuals, not all of us. The majority are casuals.
Yeah, I'm a casual Texans-Browns observer. I'm not dying to watch Houston win a playoff game. I'm not dying to watch Tua Tagovailoa play against the Chiefs, but I watched it, and the Chiefs beat them 26-7 in a game that was in the snow and stunk.
All right, text line, phone line, 610-632-0975. Ray still thinks it's the best weekend of the year.
Hit the music!
Not the best. Not even close. It's fun. It could end up being the best weekend of the year. That's dependent on the games. And frankly, Ray, you haven't been having the finishes. There's never been a bigger disparity between the best and the worst. The middle class in college basketball has been taken out.
But you gotta
because of
watch.
NIL. Well, it takes away from the games.
You gotta watch to find out. Today, while we're on the air, there will be 2 games that we watch today that start during our time slot where the underdog will win. TCU going to knock off Ohio State, and then we're going to see South Florida. The Bulls will be running. They're going past Louisville today, even though Cardinals are their best player, so they shouldn't be favorites in that game.
Right.
But it's a 6-11. That's this year, the 11 seeds, the new 12 seeds. Hope you filled out your brackets accordingly.
We'll keep you updated. And Ray can give some analysis on brackets later on. So I know a lot of people are into the whole thing.
That works for me. I'm here for a good. You know how you got someone on the station chiming in with you saying that this weekend stinks.
Yeah.
I got someone on this station chiming in with me saying this weekend rocks.
Who?
Ricky Bo. You know what he told me? He said you suck. And he said that Marks is just being a hater. This is the best weekend. That's a UConn fan. That's going to be up till 10
Right, I
tomorrow
know.
night.
That's a guy that's not working today. So he
He's
can
not
watch the
working today?
games. I don't know if he's sick or it was a scheduled day off.
He's
but-
out?
Yes. Well, if he's texting you, I hope he had taken off the day.
That'd be so funny. Is he down at UConn practice?
Oh, Dutz. Dutz. So I'm surprised that Ricky thinks I'm the a-hole, considering he took off work to watch college basketball. By the way, if you want to take off work to watch college basketball, it's a great time to take off work.
Good call.
The problem is Ricky can't do what most people do, which is the beauty of today's age. You don't have to take off work. You just work from home that day. You claim like, hey, boss, can I work from home today? Blah, 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 blah. Sure, because they don't care. They want to work from home too. And they just don't do anything all day. You take a morning meeting, you answer emails on your phone, and you're doing whatever the hell you want the rest of the day.
You know why Ricky loves this weekend on top of it being college basketball? It's the last weekend he's a real person.
Because baseball starts.
Right.
Yeah,
This is it for him.
Ricky's entitled to take some time off.
This is his moment.
Sure.
Until like the middle of October or November. And then he's in football season because he decided to do sports talk radio. This is the last weekend he has to be a real person for a long time.
All right, we'll go to the Davis Honda text line coming up. Let's go to Mad Mike. Mad Mike's probably a guy that takes off work and goes out to the local Hooters or Buffalo Wild Wings, gets a couple beers with the boys, and is watching the tournament. Right, Mad Mike?
Sounds like fake news, John Marks.
No, not you.
No, you know what? And I got to say this. I don't care about the tournament anymore. Like, I'm a Temple guy. The only thing I care about the tournament is that those fake, we pretend to be a Philly school, Villanova doesn't win. That's all I care.
Yeah, see,
I hate that
you're
school.
too into, like, when I say, because I'm not, like, I'd say I'm a Temple guy, but it would probably be not true. But I did go to Temple. I've rooted for Villanova forever.
You didn't go to real Temple. You went to Temple Light. You went to Ambler Temple.
I didn't go to Temple Ambler. I took one night class at Temple Ambler. No, I was an adult. I lived in the city and worked overnight shift, and I went to Temple. No, I didn't go to Temple Ambler. I'm not no. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but still, no.
No, I went to real deal Temple.
Did you Did you live on campus?
I lived in Johnson and Hardwick.
See, that makes you dumb because you paid that much money to live on campus in North Philly.
Well, I was a student
Makes you
athlete
smart.
too, John Mark.
Oh, that's right. Hold on a second. Guess what? He was a scholarship athlete. And guess in what sport?
All right. Tennis.
Something elite like that for sure, but not that elite sport. Incorrect.
I'm trying to think
I could also see Nate being
cross country.
Not cross country, but he's a rower.
Oh no! All right, no. I've learned.
Did you go to prep, Mike?
No, I went to a public school that had a rowing team.
I learned a lot about Mad Mike that would make me annoyed with Mad Mike. That actually I admire Mad Mike for. That's a tough sport.
Yeah, he's not
going down the
rowing
boathouse
shape.
every day.
He looks like he needs to start rowing again. I think he put on a couple of pounds.
Hey, I'm a parent now. What are you going to do?
Hey, can you come to Parks tomorrow and say hi?
I cannot come to Parks. I actually am working. I actually work for a living.
All right, on opening day, can you come to Maggie's? Because I want people to meet you because you're actually a nice guy, despite what you do on the phone.
Well, we can talk about it. Yeah, we'll figure something out. I need a heads up.
All right.
But anyway, at least the Eagles got a real quarterback now who actually knows how to play the position.
Andy Dalton. All right, Mad Mike. Talk to you tomorrow. See ya.
So now, how do you feel that Mad Mike hates the tournament?
Not surprised is how
Not
I feel. I don't
surprised,
care.
but-
I don't hate the tournament. I'm telling you, I love the tournament. It's just not the best sports weekend, and it's dependent upon the games is what it's dependent upon. No one's going to lead this weekend if the games are average and start talking about, like, oh, man, it's the best sports weekend. And no one's going to say that. If the games are great, then everybody's going to say it. And I'll be sitting here on Monday telling you guys are still wrong.
Somebody get me TGI Fridays on the phone. I need a pitcher of beer and some wings. Let's just
I could
inspire
use some
him.
wings right now. Coming up, we have audio of NFL reporter Jeff Darlington saying AJ will be a Patriot on Get Up. Also, Eagles signed a running back. Ooh, that's been on my fantasy football team before. That's coming up next. Middays with Marks 97.5 The Fanatic. Let's talk about my hair for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, because it's not just guys. Ladies that are experiencing hair loss, Morgenstern Hair can help you. Guys, all stages of hair loss. Maybe you look like Phil Martelli. Sorry, coach. But you're really bald. They can help you. With me, I was starting to lose my hair. Morgenstern Hair, the same hair team that did my hair transplant. Man, my results are amazing. You can look at me on YouTube right now and say, damn, look at that hairline, because it's legit. So all stages of hair loss, if you want your hair back, it's that simple. Get with Morgenstern Hair. 610-831-HAIR. I've known their hair team 15 years, 30 years of experience in the industry. Everybody over there, you're not going to get better eye. You're not going to know somebody that knows the business better. If you want to save your hair, if you want to get your hair back, Morgenstern Hair. 610-831-HAIR. 3 locations. Bala Kenwood. Beautiful new office in Wayne, Pennsylvania, and Lancaster. 610-831-HAIR. The website, Morgenstern Hair. That's Morgan with an E. MorgensternHair.com.
The Flyers are slow.
Middays with Marks. Ray Dunn in for Sean today. Brandon Dutz.
Can I kick it?
And that's Q-Tip. 3 songs were made with this beat. The original, this, Tribe Called Quest, and then Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. You know Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch?
I do know Marky Mark and the
Mark
Funky
Wahlberg doesn't like to admit that he was once a white rapper that was really like a pop rapper.
I mean, I could understand.
It was good stuff, though.
Was it?
That wasn't. That was Take a Walk on the Wild Side that he did. But the original Marky Mark, Good Vibrations, is awesome.
Okay, yeah, fair. All right. Yeah, I feel like if I had good vibrations, that would probably be something I'd be proud of.
No. I mean, I think it's awesome. I don't think he thinks it's awesome. It's such a good vibration. And he goes, come on, come on, come on.
You made a hit. If I was a one-hit wonder, I'd be proud of that one hit. I would not be chasing that again.
Mike Miss interviewed Mark Wahlberg down when we were on the 3rd floor when we were same area as MGK, the old studios, down on the 3rd floor. This would have had to have been AM days, maybe. But so it was Mark Wahlberg and it was Ludacris. Because Ludacris, they were both in studio. Luda had a radio background. He did morning radio in Atlanta. He's a radio guy. Yes, he's a radio guy first. So just talking to him about radio was like the thrill of my life because he's asking all these questions and he's like, oh, well, what other stations do you have in the group? And I'm telling him he's asking about the morning shows and stuff. But Wahlberg did not want to because I tried to talk to him about Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. At the time, I didn't know that was off limits.
Oh.
He wasn't mean about it or anything, but he really had nothing to say.
Well, you could tell. When you're trying to talk to someone about something they really want nothing to do with, there's a certain demeanor. Like that they don't want publicly out there.
He gave you nothing.
Yeah.
He gave you nothing. But he was nice. But what was the movie? Was it the one where he had something with brothers or something? Like he was like an adopted brother of a black family or something.
I don't know, but now I'm trying to do a Ludacris deep dive over here for the morning radio.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, Luda, he was awesome. He was an awesome dude. What a star he is.
Now I love him even more.
And, of course, I have no pictures from it because it was 2008,
right.
I think, or 2009. I have no evidence of it. I don't even have the – so, anyway, yeah, we taped an interview. It was in one of the old production studios in MGK.
Jeez. Wow.
It was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. So we have Jeff Darlington, ESPN. He's on Get Up today. So, I mean, to me, this is good sound just because it's not the same. It's not Adam Schefter saying that he's going to be traded. It's not Rap Sheet saying he's going to be traded. It's another NFL insider. But Darlington, would you agree, is less of an insider and more of a reporter?
Yeah.
Along the lines of Jeremy Fowler?
Yes.
Okay. Here's Jeff Darlington this morning on Get Up.
Well, we learned actually, Matt, that it is exactly where we've expected it to be all along. This just validates what we've already kind of felt about Jalen Waddle and about A.J. Brown and that trade, which, by the way, is more about when, not if. I still anticipate A.J. Brown getting moved out of Philly. Do not mistake the silence that we currently are feeling around A.J. Brown for being indifference or lack of activity. Eventually, after June 1st, I still think this happens. The Jalen Waddle situation only validates that further. By the way, we look toward teams that could potentially trade for A.J. Brown. The Patriots are the perfect fit in his former coach in Tennessee and Mike Vrabel being there. And the compensation almost exact, guys. The Patriots hold the 31st pick overall and the 95th pick overall. The Broncos, getting Jalen Waddle, had to give up the 30th and 94th. So it's almost apples to apples in terms of the trade comp. I really think that this does feel like a very natural progression this offseason.
All right. He didn't add a lot of new information, kind of the same canned responses, but at the end, the Waddle, it updates the story. It brings more information to the story.
Yeah, so was it Florio earlier this week that wrote that it was inevitable, that multiple people have said it's
Everybody had, yes, he did. Everybody says it.
Yeah. So after June 1st. So, all right, this is the 8th circle of Dante's Inferno, and we're just going to live in it until the beginning of June. All right? And you can keep telling us it's not going to happen. It's fine. At this point, you know what? I exist in a world. It's a first and a third. A.J. Brown's going to be a Patriot. Now it's what do you do at the wide receiver position to fill in for?
So you think a first and third?
Same thing. Yeah, same deal as Waddle.
A one, because
don't insult me, Elliot Wolf. I'm giving you A.J. Brown.
I think you get a one and then maybe a swap, right? you give them a third, they give you a fourth, or you give them a fourth, they give you a third.
Yeah, all right. You can take our fourth. I'll take your third.
I have a lot of interest in the one in 2027, which could be the 20th. Could you imagine? Think about it. BLG has said it now twice. When you make the trade for the future draft pick, it's like it's not till 2027. But then when 2027 comes, like this year, you have the extra Hassan Reddick draft pick.
Right.
You took a future one. Jets are one of the worst teams in the league, second worst team in the league.
Yeah, it's not. Drake may not. And if he's not, then
injuries happen. I think Drake May's still a good quarterback. I think Jaden Daniels is still going to be a good quarterback. Commanders were horrible last year.
Right.
So don't think for a second that couldn't happen to the Patriots this year.
All right. It happens after June 1st. It isn't actually these picks for this draft. So it's next year's first, maybe a third, a fourth, whatever. You start working out towards the middle rounds of the draft. All right. You know what? I'm not going to get to the Brandley Gowton 100% thing, but
and then their wide receivers suck, and people are going to be pissed when their wide receivers suck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're drafting a wide receiver. They're going to go in with Hollywood Brown, that guy, Darius Cooper, and Devontae Smith.
I would right now that would be my best guess because I don't know. They could bring in even if they brought in a veteran guy. Who are we talking about? They're not. Keenan Allen's not coming in here. He's going back. He's going back to the Chargers. Those guys aren't doing that. So
yeah, it's.
By the way, the Eagles have agreed to terms with Damian Pierce on a 1-year contract. If you play fantasy football, you may have had Pierce on your roster at some point because he was pretty good for a stretch there in was it 2023? A couple years ago, he had a couple big games.
He was a darling there for a little bit. Then he was a high draft pick in fantasy leagues the following season,
and then he couldn't stay healthy.
Nope. So it's a nice
fourth
dart throw. Back. Yeah, it's a good dart throw. A.J. Dillon signs somewhere.
He's this year's A.J. Dillon.
Yeah,
Panthers.
Thank you.
Yeah,
he was such a good friends with Jalen Phillips that he had to follow him.
You need a fourth running back with some upside. This dude showed that he has a little bit of upside. I think it tells you they don't think highly of Will Shipley.
Probably, yeah.
Or
just
you're just adding you're just adding a camp body and a fourth running back.
Yeah. So
because Tank Bigsby, I fully expect 10 carries a game, Sean, this year, Ray.
They got to get the ball out of Saquon's hands and into Tank Bigsby's hands.
Some were saying he should be the starter.
I was on with the Steve Jones show. We were talking about the running back room for the Eagles, and they were floored at the notion that there were people down here that wanted Tank Bigsby's carries over.
Just a couple. I needed 5 a game.
It's great.
Yeah, well,
Penn State guy's not thrilled that people were taking shots at Saquon.
I didn't think about that. Yeah. on ESPN State College, 14:30 a.m. I was on the Steve Jones show before. My buddy Brian Tripp used to produce the show up there. All right, coming up next, man, we got to get in some Phillies conversation.
Oh yeah,
I did a Philly baseball show last night. Philly baseball talk live at 9:00. A lot to get to. Andrew Painter's killing it. An update on Zach Wheeler. And the leftovers from the World Baseball Classic. Bryce Harper's a hero again. All it took was 1 home run. That's coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles make another move. I'm Brandon Dutz, and this update is brought to you by Morgenstern Medical. This month at Morgenstern Hair Restoration, they're including a free Alma TED treatment with your procedure. That's $1,000 value free. Call 610-831-HAIR or visit morgensternhair.com. The Eagles have made yet another move, signing running back Damian Pierce to a 1-year deal. Yesterday, they also made a trade, acquiring quarterback Andy Dalton in exchange for a 2027 round pick from the Carolina Panthers. Flyers took down the Ducks 3-1 in overtime and will go for their second straight win tonight against the Kings. That one on 93.3 WMMR. 76ers back in action tonight against the Kings with tip-off set for 10 o'clock. You can catch that one right here on the Fanatic. And keeping you updated with the scores from March Madness, TCU currently leads Ohio State 31-24 and Nebraska leads Troy 12-10. This report is also sponsored by TireRack.com. Rain or shine, drive with confidence on Vredestein tires from Tire Rack. Vredestein tires deliver precision handling, dependable traction, and quiet comfort. Shipped fast and free with 2 years of free road hazard protection. TireRack.com. I'm Brandon Dutz on the home of the 76ers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Whoa. There you go. All right, we'll dump that. Wouldn't be the first time it happened.
Ooh. Someone's fired up for the tournament, man.
Perhaps I
didn't listen to it before I played.
But perhaps I sent along the non-clean version. This happened before. It's on YouTube if you check it out. But I worked with Mike, and I was trying to come back with Old Dirty Bastard. Hey, Dirty, baby, I got your money. Don't you worry. Say hey. But so I don't think I put clean version into YouTube. I put it was like official music video.
Yeah.
It's a lot of not even just like the F word. There's a lot of other words on it too. And I'm playing it and I'm like, whoa. And now I'm like struggling to find the mouse to stop it. And I'm like hitting the dump button or whatever.
Well, yeah, because it's the partial of I know I have the delay, so am I going to use the delay up trying to find the stop button? But if I don't find the stop button soon enough, I'm not going to get to the dump button.
I won't have enough. I won't have enough delay and everything else. So I stopped it, and Mike's like, "What are you doing?" It's just the audio, but it's on YouTube. You can definitely find it.
Oh, that's great.
Definitely caught that one. Sorry, John.
It's all good.
Well, no, I mean, is it just a bump that was put in? It's not you.
It was what you had sent. I recorded it.
Oh, you
guess,
recorded it.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't paying attention.
But
and then
no. But if I sent you something with profanity, it's on me to tell you there's profanity in it. That's not your fault. That's
I just
my
recorded
fault.
it. Nate put it in there. I just put it in there.
Yeah, no, that's my fault.
Yep.
No, don't worry about it.
Good.
You're good.
We actually had that happen.
But where you're not good is that's Bulls on Parade. Yeah, like the whole beginning is the best part of the song. You just started with tweet it now. Don't know.
Because I should have asked you in your email. You put skip the 30 3 times for 4 different songs. I didn't know where you wanted to
Not
skip
that
for
one.
what song. I didn't know which
from
one
the
it was.
beginning. All right, whatever.
We were in the makeshift middays, that little 8-week stretch. There was, I forget, was it a News at Noon? I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but there was a piece of audio that went out, and it was middle of News at Noon. It's Amy and I sitting there, and there's just an F-bomb just in the middle of it. Whoa! Everyone just did. Same thing as that. It happens. It's not the first
It
time.
happens.
It won't be the last time.
It happens.
Better that we didn't say it.
Sure it does. What we got, it's no big deal. So we're good. All right, so the Phillies, they're wrapping up spring training there, Ray Dunn.
Oh, that they are. Nearly time to come up north.
Andrew Painter made his final spring training start yesterday. He will do another simulated start, I believe. It's at Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, they want to get him up here.
Yeah, but really, if you're looking for we're all looking for positives going into the season. I know a lot of Phillies fans, including me, were a little disappointed at the lack of urgency, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
But we have a good club.
Really, now that you're in, they do have a good club. And I like what they've done with the bullpen. But Andrew Painter, Sean's guy that he thought was a big, could be the Phillies either are a
season hinges on it.
The season's not going to hinge on Aaron Nola. But his point was, if Aaron Nola gets back to being a 3.5, 3.75 ERA guy, this team can be really good. And I agree. If Andrew Painter can come in and give you consistent innings every fifth day as your fifth starter with more upside than Aaron Nola currently provides, because he is what he is at this point in his career, and Nola has nothing but upside, or Painter has nothing but upside. But, man, you got to feel great about what Aaron Painter looked like this spring, because yesterday might have been his best outing. He's got 4 pitches that he's doing. His fastball's averaging over 96 miles an hour. He's got this sweeper and a slider that he has. And he's been throwing the changeup a lot for strikeouts. I know yesterday he had shook off Marchand 3 times on a 2-strike count to throw a right-on-right changeup, which got a swing and a miss and a strikeout. So he's showing, hey, you just wait. I'm showing real growth here. I'm learning how to pitch. And they've tinkered with his delivery. They've tinkered with his release point. And there's hopefully a little bit more movement on the fastball now as opposed to being a four-seamer. So all indications are, man, Andrew Painter's ready to have a season here.
That's the biggest thing, is does the fastball keep its effectiveness late into a start? Because I think we've seen now in spring training that he could get through that first inning, get through that second inning. Now, it was the third inning in his most recent start prior to this one.
He went 4.
At this one, specifically, he goes 4 scoreless. And I think it was the Orioles where it was like that end of that third inning, he ended up just losing a little bit on that fastball. And when it's a straight line, it's pretty easy to hit. So he needs to keep the movement on the fastball, the shape of the fastball later into starts. I think that's the biggest thing for him. If we're looking at the effectiveness and what he could be as a starter, I can't have him be a guy that only gets through 3. Like, we make the joke about the fourth inning with Nola and how things kind of unravel there. For Andrew Painter, that's going to be the biggest hurdle for him. Going through a lineup multiple times, it's not so much the adjustments they're making on him, it's whether or not that fastball keeps his effectiveness late into his start, because that's where struggles came for him a year ago, about was the fastball as elite as it was pre-Tommy John. If he could make that fastball last 5 innings.
I need 5 innings.
There you go. That's a fit start, and that's, honestly, when you look at the amount of innings they want him to pitch this season, 5 innings per start for him is probably fantastic.
Here's what I need from Painter this year. These are what I hope happens. He pitches the entire season in the big leagues without injuries, and he pitches to a close to 4 ERA. That's it. That's all I need. I every fifth day, if you give me 5 innings, maybe you give up 4 runs one time, maybe you throw a one-hitter the next time out. I don't need you going deep in the games. He's still a young pitcher that's coming off of a major injury. You're getting him back there. I just need him in the bigs the entire season. I never want to be thinking, oh, geez, well, Taijuan Walker's also hurt. Who's my 5th starter, right?
Yeah, well, especially in the month of April. Like, we don't want to be talking at the end of April like, man, you need Zach Wheeler to get back because you just have a hole as your 5th starter right now.
Right.
Like, the organizational depth there is just non-existent. You can feel good about the fact that they've got the pitching development that they have in this organization, the fact that maybe they'd be able to piece it together, but they didn't go out and address any sort of depth in that pitching rotation. You are kind of in a Painter. You need him to be a 5-inning guy every 5th day, at least for the month of April. If not, I mean, you'd love it for the whole season, but at least the month of April because you don't have depth in the organization.
Well, Zach Wheeler, it seems like he's going to be back. I mean,
sooner.
Yeah, they don't want to set a timetable, but
which is smart.
Yeah, which is smart. But he threw again yesterday. He threw the equivalent of 2 innings against hitters. And he said afterwards, I felt good. My arm felt good. We're going in the right direction. So there's talk that maybe he could throw to live hitters in a minor league game, perhaps a simulated game, but he's getting closer, and he's building up. So now it's like every time he goes out there and throws, there's a little bit more intensity to what he's doing. He's pitching to live hitters. It was a simulated game. Now he's going to pitch to minor leaguers in a real game. It seems like he's close. I would have to imagine you're still talking to probably 6 weeks because we're already at the beginning of the season.
Right.
If he's back by mid-May, boom.
Perfect.
Sign me up. The Phillies will be fine. If he's back and he's ready to go by mid-May and then from there he's kind of ramping it up as a starter, perfect. But he's been, everything you were hoping for, because a lot of times they say, well, we're hoping like – even though they won't say it, they're hoping that he doesn't miss too much time. Doesn't seem like he's going to miss too much time. Hasn't had any setbacks or anything like that. So these are all good things, right?
So I'm looking right now, May 18th. It's a Monday night at 6:40. First pitch down there at Citizens Bank Park. You've got the Cincinnati Reds in town. These begin what is a 6-game homestand. Reds, Guardians. Do we think that right now is your target date of when you get Zach Wheeler back in that week in the middle of May?
If he came out for Mother's Day, which I'll be second row in the outfield, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Right, and Mother's Day is
10th.
the 10th. Right, because the 10th is a Sunday. Oh, that wouldn't be bad. A little Rockies action on a Sunday.
I
Show
also
some
will
love to the moms.
I'll also be there the 23rd. I purchased the group package, group ticket, 25 tickets.
Oh, that's a nice
for the 23rd.
There is nothing better than the Saturday 4:05 start. There is nothing better in sports than a baseball Saturday 4:05 start. A couple before, a couple at the ballpark, and a couple somewhere afterwards.
Yeah, well, there won't be a couple somewhere afterwards. For you, there would be.
Yes.
But, yeah, no, I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Go too early. I wanted to get some early games this year, so I'm going in May.
I did the ballpark pass for April.
Yeah?
So I have the standing room ticket for the entire month. The amount of times I use it.
Is that what the ballpark pass is?
Yeah. It's $125 for like 15 games or whatever it is, the 12 games.
Don't you have a ballpark pass for free? It's called a single game media credential.
I feel bad being the guy that gets the credential and then goes and hangs out with I'm going to hang out with the boys. Like, it's someone that could use that seat in the media, you know? Like,
no. You just wasted your money. You put the credential in your back pocket. I mean, it's one thing to go sit in a seat.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like I could go to the ballpark as a media member, but then I want to
all right.
I don't like towing that line.
Well, I'm sure the Phillies wouldn't want you using the credential and then going and drinking.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So if I'm going down there to have a good time and watch the game, like I'm going down there to have a good time and watch the game.
All right.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and there's a lot of people that always point that out to me. Like, why don't you just get a credential? And it's like,
that's what I used to do.
Yeah, but if I were to get the credential,
dude, 2007, 2008, I might have been at every home game, and I didn't pay for one ticket.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that.
That was what a time to be alive, man.
What a time to be alive.
Oh, my God. Uncle Jamie's checking in on the NCAA tournament. What's up, Uncle Jamie?
Hey, what's happening? So, just on the real quick on the Wheeler and Painter thing. If you get 140 innings out of Painter this year, at a 5-inning average, at a 4 ERA, like you said, that's a total win. A total win out of Andrew Painter for this year. I think that should be to expectation.
Yeah,
Wheeler, they're talking like late April, early May on Wheeler. Like you said, there hasn't been any setbacks. So I think you have him come back. The question is, how well can he do once you get into August and September? Will he have enough build up? So, slower is better on Wheeler.
Yeah, because you have Luzardo that seems like he's ready to go nuts. And you saw Sanchez pitch for the Dominican. That dude's he's a stud. God, I love that guy.
The discount they're getting on him is amazing. The discount is just, and on Luzardo. I mean, talk about, we always give some hate to Dombrowski, but those are two pretty club-friendly contracts they have on both those pitchers.
Yeah, Luzardo's obviously making a lot more money than Sanchez is. But if you look at that contract, if he would have this, Luzardo would have the same year this year that he had last year. He's easily eclipsing that contract. He's getting $30+ million in free agency. We just saw Ranger Suarez get $26 million. He doesn't have the stuff of Luzardo, so I agree with you. Yep. I mean, that was a really, really good signing by the Phillies.
All right, so quick on the tournament. I'm going to give you some empirical data, which I like to do. But first, I'm going to tell you my experience. So when I was in high school, it was 48. It wasn't 64. And myself and 7 of my friends would get together on Thursday, and we played one-on-one basketball as the team in the bracket. And we would do our own bracket based upon the one-on-one game result. And then we extrapolate that all the way out till Sunday, out on the first weekend, and see who our Sweet 16 was. That was our tradition for many years.
Get out. Where did you play?
Gotta love it.
Blair Mill Elementary School?
We played at my friend Mike's house. He had a beautiful net and basket, and we played all day and all night. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, man. Talk about high school. Talk about high school dreams right there. That was some good times.
Uncle Jamie, were you more of a Michigan State or a North Dakota State?
Michigan State guy. I've always been a front runner, Ray. I always liked the
LSU fan in football.
All right. Makes sense.
And remember this, Ray. I'm going to give you some data here to help you. Because I'm the kind of guy that likes to do research. So, in the last 20 years, in the round of 64, 74.98% of the better seed wins. In the round of 32, 71.3% better seed wins. Sweet 16, 72.8% of the better seed wins. Elite 8, 57.7, and in the Final Four, 46.6. So if you're picking your bracket, Ray, you go favorites, baby. Be a front runner.
Oh, I am very concerned how chalky my bracket is right now. So I'm right there with you, Uncle Jamie.
All right, good stuff, guys. Have a good afternoon.
Later, you too. Yeah.
So he was the Michigan State of his friend group, is what I'm hearing.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just imagine, like, if I was drafted in my neighborhood growing up, like, if we would make it too real, and it would probably hurt people's feelings. Of like, no. You can't represent Duke. Our bracket has to be realistic. This one-on-one, you can't be Duke in this one-on-one. You're way more of the Siena in this matchup, with all due respect.
Yeah, I would have been Drexel or Siena. Yeah. I would have been the 14 seed.
I would have been Ohio State, overseeded and losing by 15 right now.
So it's funny when we've been talking about a lot of our tournament memories, and a lot of it is on the court. But like Jamie just brought up with the off the court stuff. So I was in elementary school, and it was either in 4th or 5th grade. It might have been both, but there were 2 teachers, and at the time you think they're really old. Meanwhile, they were like much younger than I am right now, right? And I still think I'm young. But Mr. Grant and Mr. Rampula, and I obviously was a big sports fan because I remember, and I forget who else was. It might have been my buddy Colin. I think it was Colin Doherty, and then maybe somebody else. But they were like, "Hey, during lunch and come here, like during lunch and recess, come on in." And they brought us in. I think it was into the media room where they had a TV and they had film projectors, film strips, and things like that, and they had the tournament games on. And I remember just being like, "Wow, that was like the coolest thing ever for a 10-year-old to be watching the tournament games that he wouldn't have been able to watch with these two really cool teachers that I already liked." And it was like such a cool thing for them to do. It was special. It was really, really cool. So I know we did it both years. We did it 4th and 5th grade. So I guess it was both years we did it for sure. But I always appreciated that. I always enjoyed that they thought of us like that. It was cool.
I'll make our audience feel pretty old right now because that story is pretty much how I watched the '08 World Series parade, where I was in 3rd grade at that point, and my teacher, Mr. Moser, was like, it was Halloween, so it was the Halloween parade. And it was like, all right, come on. Like, I know you have no interest in parading around the recess yard. Like, let's watch the '08 World Series parade here. And I think he also played, I'm sorry, Mr. Moser, I don't want to blow up your spot here, but I'm pretty sure you also played the tournament for us as well, because we were getting the smart boards. That was the whole big thing when I was in elementary school.
It was the new technology.
Oh, yeah. We got a grant for a couple of smart boards, and it's like 10 teachers running down the hall to fight with one another because I want the board, like that was the new big thing. We're watching on the smart board, and it wasn't the old TV you're rolling in.
Right.
Oh, now we've gone digital. We're watching opening round of the tournament, and I guess, the '08 World Series parade. But it's apparently...
You were in 3rd grade?
Yeah. Big tradition down south for the ACC tournament. Apparently, it's a big rolling TV day. For
Dutch, what year were you born?
This is coming. 2004, I was born. Right? So I was in the 3rd grade in, I think, 2014, I think. There you go. I knew that was coming. You gave me that look. You looked over here. I'm like, here we go.
It all happens quick. Believe me, you're gonna be staring down the barrel of 50 like me before you know it. So enjoy it while you can.
Hey man, I
sucks.
Got to get my own benefits. People are making fun of Bryson Stott and his grandmother's.
So
phone plan.
Stott's still on his grandmother's cell phone.
Yes.
Plan.
This came out on a mic'd up in the Phillies Twitter account yesterday.
Yeah, it's almost like he relishes still being on the account.
It's the daycare. That's what it is.
Yeah,
He's the young guy.
I'm done with the daycare. No, it is not daycare anymore. It's just him being weird that he's going to be on there. Because Ray had said that Ray now, because he's at an age where he can't be on his parents' insurance because he's 25 and you have to get off by the time you're 25. So he just recently signed up for benefits from Beasley Broadcasting Group.
Yeah, shout out Beasley last night.
So you actually did it last night?
Yeah, because I'm up. I'm turning 26 in a month.
There you go.
And apparently I would have been kicked off my parents' benefits anyways because I just got an all caps text from my mom. I fundraised my ass off for those smart boards. There was no grants. So shout out
is that right?
The PTA over there at Oaks Elementary. Sorry, I didn't mean to discount the hard work of the wonderful moms of the PTA.
Yeah, you tried to.
Yeah, I didn't mean to.
So now, what are you still on the cell phone? Their cell phone plan?
Still on the cell phone plan. Yep.
And so is that just there's no expiration date? It's just whenever you decide, like when you get married, maybe?
Probably, yeah. I feel like marriage is probably a good time to kick this one off.
That's when my wife, that's when it became, all right, you're coming on my plan, was when she was on her parents' plan forever.
Yeah.
Now, my parents are on the same plan, but the bill goes to me. So we never actually changed plans. It just became that, all right, I'm taking over the bill. And now I pay everybody's.
I feel like, I guess at some point I would have to return the favor there. That would make sense.
Yes.
That would make sense.
Not right now. But 10 years from now.
I did this conversation with a former Middays host who has a daughter older than I am. And
I would say I would hit the Google me button, but my screen's not working.
I can't even find it.
You might want to also get this fixed for when Bill's on the air in case he wants to use it.
It'd be good.
Google me.
He said that his daughter's still on his cell phone plan.
Really?
Yes. So he was cool with me because I thought for sure Mike was going to be like, come on, pay for your own thing.
And she just got married in the last couple of years.
So I would think that at some point.
Well, that as a man, you have to take, now she's your wife, now you have to take her off of the bill.
Now it's the son-in-law's.
It's his responsibility.
Right. That's the 21st century. That's
correct.
Sexism in the 21st century.
Well, it's true. And then let me tell you something. There's something to be said. There's something to be said for taking that type of responsibility. All right, maybe it's not the man, it's the woman, but that's what I felt. It's like, no, you're not going to stay on your father's bill.
I would say at 30 is probably, and I'm sure this audio will be used against me. 30 is when I'll have to look myself in the mirror and be like, all right, dude, you got to get your own phone plan.
I'm not so sure with you, Ray.
What?
Well, if you're not living with somebody at the very least, like why? Because that's
No, I mean for myself. I'm not taking it for someone else.
No, what I'm saying is that, like, how much does that really cost your parents to be on their plan? It's a lot less than if you took out your own individual plan, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, yeah, you get the benefit when you have multiple lines. Then it costs less for each of those lines.
But by the time I turn 30, hopefully they're getting closer to retirement. It might just be time for me to take over my own expenses there.
When they need to reduce costs because of retirement and things like that, that's where you need to be a man.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Probably 30 feels like they'll be closer to that. So I'll do that for them, even if I'm not getting married. That'll be my consolation for the fact that they haven't had a wedding for me yet.
Do you have the mic'd up? You have Stott? All right, we'll put that coming up. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. Ray is going to give his picks for his bracket. But you already had to put your bracket in.
Right.
But maybe you're going to come out to Bet Parks tomorrow and Bet Parks Sportsbook and bet.
I mean, it's a beautiful sports book.
Ray can pretend that he can give you analysis, but I wouldn't take his bets. I'm just saying.
I don't know, man. I gave you TCU about an hour ago. They're up 15 at the half, baby.
That's true. You did.
That's an 8-9 game.
All right, that's coming up. Middays with Marks, 97.5, The Fanatic. Do I have a Bet Parks here?
Now on 97.5, The Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles make another move. I'm Brandon Duss, and the Eagles have made yet another move, signing running back Dameon Pierce to a one-year deal. One of the big talking points in the NFL remains the trade rumors surrounding A.J. Brown. ESPN's Adam Schefter joined Kincade and Salciunas yesterday to share the latest.
I still would lean trade, yes. But again, there aren't a lot of logical landing spots. And I've seen plenty of receivers demand trades and be back with that team. There's a lot there.
Flyers are back in action tonight against the Los Angeles Kings. You can catch that one on WMMR. Puck drop is set for 10:30. 76ers are also back in action tonight against the Kings, and you can catch that one right here on The Fanatic with tip-off at 10 o'clock. Keeping you updated with March Madness, TCU leads Ohio State 39-24 at halftime, and Nebraska leads Troy 32-19. This update is also sponsored by Udo.com. All your business apps in one place. Running a business is hard enough? Udo makes it easier with one simple all-in-one platform. Start today at Udo.com, Udo.com. I'm Brandon Dutz on the home of the 76ers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic app.
good. All right, 1 o'clock hour of the show is brought to you by Morgenstern Hair Restoration. Great teams stick together. So does great hair. Morgenstern Hair Restoration Championship results. Visit morgensternhair.com or call 610-831-HAIR. We should actually, if you're talking about great hair on the show, I don't know if there's a better show as far as hair in radio.
Especially with Dutz sitting here.
You have good hair.
Thank you.
Well, it's not good hair, but it's good coverage of your hair.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you.
Dutz has enough hair for everybody. Nate has great hair. Now, Sean is bald, but anyway.
He has good hair for him.
He has good donor hair, which is on the sides. If he could have a really nice looking Phil Martelli haircut if he wanted to.
I think he is someone that fits bald.
What does that mean?
You just look at him, it's like, yeah.
He looks good bald.
He looks good bald.
He
yeah,
does.
It's not like a concerning bald. Like there's some
a
people
sickly bald?
Well, sickly wasn't where I was going with that, but you're losing it.
Oh.
I've got a buddy where he's starting to lose a little bit. It's kind of I would want him to go to Morgenstern.
Or you shave your head.
Yeah.
So he's at the oh.
He's at the oh. He walks past you like, oh.
Does he not know or does he just not care?
He's aware. He's aware.
So he just doesn't care to do
yeah,
anything
he's
about
fine. Yeah, he's like, I got hair. But
All right.
I mean, I'm gonna get to that point at some point where it's gonna be oh.
Let me see your hairline because you just kind of. All right. Yeah, you get a good hairline.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
For now, yeah.
I probably had the same hairline when I was your age.
Right, exactly. I'm gonna walk in one day and it's gonna be oh. I'm gonna be like, all right, time to call it Morgenstern Medical. It's a real thing.
How old's your O friend?
My age.
Yeah, that's.
Oh,
but that's what happens with some guys.
Yeah.
That they start losing the hair a little bit early.
Yeah, listen,
right.
I see my dad all the time. I know what's going to happen to my hair. That's why I make jokes about it now.
Yeah,
because it's going to end up coming back to bite me at some point.
Doesn't have to. Morgenstern Hair, 610-831-HAIR. There you have it.
Oh,
So let's go to. So give me the Stott. This is Stott talking about the whole cell phone thing. Since we teased it, we'll at least pay the tease off. Here's Stott talking about the whole cell phone thing. Here it is.
Hey, don't make too much fun. I'm still on my grandma's phone plan. Yeah, she knows.
That is awesome. I'm on my grandma's phone.
No, listen. She been with.
How about hey, Grandma? Hey,
No.
Grandma, thank you for the years. There's no reason to
No,
be
time out.
How about the call, Grandma? Hey, I'm going to switch it over. Okay, I got you. Get on my plan. I got you. You should be paying for your grandma.
No, time. So it's
agree with
unlimited, but she gets HBO Max for free. And if I come off the plan, she don't get HBO Max. Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm grandmother did.
There you go.
I agree with that take. He should be the one paying for the phone bill.
Agreed.
He should be paying for it. And you know what? If she wants the HBO Max on top of it, he should be paying for that too.
Yep, and everything else.
Yeah.
Like what I was thinking while we were playing it was like, is he just too lazy to do it himself, and it's just easier to do it this way, and he pays for everything? Because that's what you should do, if that was the case. So, all right, there you go.
I think he should pay for everything for her at this point.
Agreed.
It's your grandma.
Agreed. And he's
if I
rich.
could, I would.
Well, he's rich. First round draft pick. He's going to be a free agent. He may not get paid in Philly, but he's going to make a lot of money. All right, checking the text line. If you could check the Davis Honda text line here, Ray. I have my text line. My DMs are open as always at John Marks Media. Austin checks in and says, March Madness is the only time I watch college basketball, and I don't have a job. So he didn't have to take off work to watch it. He didn't have a job. Thank you for that, Austin.
We got people that are upset with me for still being on health care. That was a 26 for healthcare is ridiculous. We got Easy Ed from Chalfont saying, my kids, 41, 31, 28, are still on my cell phone plan because it can't be beat, but they always have paid me for their portion. I send a friendly bill reminder every month.
He sends a bill reminder.
So I guess it's a little Venmo me action.
How about that? All right, well, that's smart. It's not ridiculous that you're still on their healthcare plan.
I didn't think so.
Ray, you were you became full-time at the station in the last 6 months?
Yep.
Yeah, so you didn't have an option to have health care.
True.
As a part-time employee. So why are you going to be like, oh, now I'm a full-time employee? No, you ride out the 6 months on the existing health plan, so there's no deductibles and stuff like that. Now you start over like a man.
Yeah, I gotta make sure that the doctors carry over.
Dude, I was on my parents' health plan until I couldn't be on their health plan anymore.
I think it makes sense.
A lot of that was because I went back to school, and then I had to, I purchased health care after that, and then I was a full-time worker. But anyway.
Disappointment for the text line that we have not brought up the big news of the day.
What's that?
Has to do with a redheaded quarterback. Carson Wentz.
Oh, you know
signing
what?
with the Vikings.
I did see that on the front page ESPN.com. There's been a couple of big stories in the NFL, but
guys like, oh, I know that name. Dameon Pierce today. Carson Wentz today. Carson's what, 34? Did I see that right? That he's 34 years old now? Was that the?
Is he really? He was an old rookie.
Yeah, he's 33, going into his age 34 season, I guess. Wild.
Minnesota Vikings agreed to terms with Carson Wentz on a 1-year deal, adding to their depth in a key year for them at the position. Yeah, he's the third quarterback actually, maybe J.J. McCarthy's the third quarterback. Does he even make the team? Because Max Brosmer was in there last year.
Oh, they're fired up about Max Brosmer.
And he stinks. They got shut out in the one game I was playing against in fantasy. It cost me a win.
Unironically. Well, I guess what? They also have is Murray? Did they sign Murray? Was that what
Kyler Murray's their starter now.
Yeah.
I would expect them to shop McCarthy and try to get something for him. They clearly don't want him.
Correct.
And I wouldn't want him. I don't know why they wanted him when they drafted him. He wasn't any good in college.
Would you trade for McCarthy or McKee?
McKee.
Yeah.
There's unknown with McKee. I don't think McCarthy can play.
I didn't understand the draft pick like you said when they made it. I was not a fan.
And I'm just telling you, there's people that I knew and I respected, and what they said was that scouts. And this is when I was like, he's not a first round pick. It said no, the scouts actually are saying he's a first round pick because they love his skills and they love the fact that he played under Harbaugh in Michigan. And I'm like, yeah, but they didn't throw the ball because Harbaugh realizes he can't throw the ball well enough. They ran the ball. They did everything they could not to throw the ball in Michigan with him.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, McCarthy, though, probably the most impressive Michigan quarterback in history.
Who knows?
McCarthy, the most impressive Michigan quarterback ever.
I can't imagine anybody that would have been better. But Tom Brady didn't play it at Michigan, so you can't even try that. In fact, Jim Harbaugh himself was better than
I know. His coach was better than him.
His coach.
I just wanted to upset the Tom Brady people from earlier that were like, it was a 6th-round pick.
Yes,
you forgot that?
If you're still listening, we do know that Tom Brady was a 6th rounder. We're aware of that. We're just kidding.
Whoa, Rob from Minnesota on this one. My kids and I are all on my mother's phone plan. It's cheaper for all of us.
It is cheaper.
So is that the new thing? It's just the multi-generational phone plan?
I think so.
So it's one for all for one?
Why would you get off of a phone plan? It's just now you're either paying your share or you're paying for the bill. Like me. I never, during a lot of those years, I didn't pay for my phone. My parents were paying for my phone. Now I pay for the phone.
So is now do we have to have the tradition where it's the wife's family that pays for the phone bill or the husband's family pays
like a
for
wedding?
Yeah, it's
the wife, the family of the bride pays for it, even though that's not the case. And my in-laws paid for their portion. We all split it.
Yeah.
My parents paid for some. They paid for some. We paid for a lot. So, anyway, there you go. I bet Dutch is still. Dutch, you wouldn't even know how to pay for your
I'm
phone.
on my own.
What?
I'm on my own. Yes, I
What?
pay for mine monthly. Yes, because
Whoa.
my parents' Wi-Fi is not good. I believe they have AT&T, and I kept complaining to my dad. He's like, "You want to know what, Big Shot? Go on your own." So I was like, "All right."
So you did.
Yes, so I'm on my own.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Wow.
Props to Dutsy on that one.
Yeah, I
Couldn't
wouldn't
be me.
have done that.
Yeah, my dad's thrown out those types of things before. Oh, you think you're so smart? And every time I respond, no, I'm just trying to give an alternate perspective here.
Did you eat something with 2 ketchups last night since you went home?
Oh,
'Cause
no.
You're a 2 ketchup
No,
house.
we had the 75 mustards out because it was the corned beef and cabbage. And, it's, let's bring out the honey mustard. Let's bring out the spicy yellow. Let's bring out the regular mustard. I was, what the? Is this a condiment house? Do we have any food in this fridge? It's all condiments. But it was good. It was really good. I got to give props to my parents because they had travel trouble. And my mom was like, I don't really feel like doing the corned beef and cabbage thing.
Right.
I was like, fine.
It's a lot of work.
Whatever you want to make. I show up. What's the first thing I smell when I walk in the house?
Corned beef.
Yeah, I was like, all right. So, yeah, as much as you were struggling, you weren't going to not come through on St. Patrick's Day for that. It was good. Great job with it.
All right. Well, we have a tweet from Julian Edelman.
Oh, dudes on dudes?
And I'm wondering if this is him being Aqib Talib.
Oh.
He just tweets out the GIF, "We're all Patriots," with A.J. Brown giving the wink.
Oh, no. I swear to God, if Colorado gets this, if it breaks during their show, after all this work, after about talking about it.
That was my exact thought, too, because he's got all the Eagles news. But ironically, these past couple moves have happened at like 6:05, right when he's gotten off air.
Oh.
Yeah, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't.
Dudes on dudes.
Is he have an indication something's happening? I would doubt it, because who the hell's going to tell him?
Well, that's what I thought about Talib.
Who would tell Talib?
It's like, there's no way Talib sitting on that couch across from Skip Bayless has anything real.
He knew.
He knew.
He knew.
Oh, no.
All right, YouTube chat recap. We'll wrap it up on the text line as well. Don't go anywhere. Middays with Marks, 97.5, The Fanatic. But, don't go anywhere. I got to tell you where we're going to be tomorrow. We're going to be Parks Casino, watching all the games, broadcasting live from the Bet Parks Sportsbook. That's right. Not only John Marks, not only Sean Brace, Ray Dunn himself will be in person as we watch the games. Now, going on today, man, they have all the games. If you like Penn tonight, 25.5-point underdogs against Illinois. 7 p.m., Michigan, big favorites. Michigan State, big favorites at 4 p.m. Get your skin in the game and bet all the action on the Bet Parks Sportsbook and online casino app. Because come out tomorrow, you can go right up to the window and bet. You can go right up to the kiosk and bet. But if you can't make it out, you should be using the Bet Parks app because it is the best. And tomorrow and today, check this out. Special guests in person at the Bet Parks Sportsbook. How about the head coach, Jimmy Lynam? What about Mark Jackson, Ray's buddy from NBC Sports Philadelphia? Our man, Matt Cord, will be out there. Temple alum. And great three-point shooter, Mike Friesbick. Joe Conklin, D. Lynam, Barrett Brooks. It all starts now at Parks Casino in Ben Salem. BetParks.com has all the details. You must be 21. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Sixers.
I guess we could add some breaking news. Adolis Garcia has went deep again, second straight day. That according to Dylan, who came in the studio, because you see what Colarulo's doing? He saw what I did with Otto Kemp in the Auto Zone. So he's trying to start a club for Adolis Garcia.
Well, what he's trying to do is make everyone forget that he was a Weston Wilson guy. That's really what he's trying to do.
I forgot.
He's trying to back away from that. No, Mike. There's a lot of power there.
I like Weston Wilson.
Yeah.
Not as much as Bill. But Garcia, again, they mess with his swing. I was reading something yesterday, I think, where they were, like, Kevin Long made adjustments. So they're trying to, like, the reality is this dude's been a home run or a strikeout for the last 2 seasons, really. And if that's going to be the case this year, it's not going to be good. Because he can have 25 home runs all he wants. If he sucks and his on-base percentage is 270, I'm going to hate him.
And you won't be the only one.
Yeah. Yeah, he is better defensively, for sure. But it'd be nice if you got a player with a better plan at the plate. And really, like, they're trying to fix his swing. So encouraging to see at the end of spring training, maybe some things are clicking in the head.
Yeah, it's been a K-long spring. Adolis, we got the Bryson Stott story a couple days ago where they're trying to get Stott to hit more line drives to left because they don't want the lazy flyouts. They don't care what he does in terms of ball flight from the center to right field. And he apparently has taken to the adjustments. He's not moving his hands as much.
Oh, man.
You know?
Devontae Smith can catch 120 passes. What other propaganda do you need out there, Ray?
Who's in the best shape of their lives? I want to know. Tell me who's in the best shape of their lives. We haven't gotten enough of that this March.
Not me.
Not me.
Not anymore.
Nope.
But, yeah. So, there you
that's
go.
good. I hope. I mean, there is something to be said for the way everybody in Texas struggled offensively. Like, the Rangers, pretty much everyone regressed. They fired, I believe they called him the offensive coordinator, which was hilarious. They were like, you know what? All these years of a hitting coach, batting coach, whatever you want to call him, we're calling this guy our offensive coordinator. Fired him. Everyone stunk. So maybe there is something they're going to tap into there. Adolis, like, as a bounce-back candidate, sure. Why not? But
I'm all for it.
Yeah, you need it.
And then they can let him walk in free agency.
Oh, 100. You're not, he's going to be 34 after a career year?
Yeah,
well,
but
would be pretty Phillies.
But does anybody really believe that he's going to do that?
Does he have the career year?
He's
hitting 80 home runs in the first half.
What you're hoping for is that he's a little bit more selective at the plate, and his average can be higher than it's been the last couple of years. I don't think for a second you can change him where he is. By the way, like you get him in the right spot. Look at the World Series. Look what he did in the playoffs that year. So like he's proven he can do it in big games.
If my lasting image of him is on a parade float and he signs a big deal somewhere else, good on him because we all had a great year.
You're damn right.
I don't need to have a long-term plan with Adolis.
And by the way, the expectations don't have to be to have the brilliance of an Otto Kemp. I know Bill's trying to grasp onto something here, and Silvana has the AutoZone shirt now.
Oh, does she?
I brought hers in today.
That's good.
Correct.
That's good.
So she's in the zone, AutoZone. So like I get it. It's a trendy club after Adoree Jackson and the Brett Toth club that you started.
Yeah, the Brett Toth, man, we're going to miss him. We haven't talked enough this offseason about how much we're going to miss that guy.
We won the MVP last year. At least when we gave out the awards.
The Middays valuable player for sure.
All right, are we ready for the YouTube chat recap there? Dutz, hit it.
It's time for the YouTube chat recap.
How about filling us in? Let me tell you something else, man.
Watch us live on YouTube every single weekday.
I can't lie. Let me tell you something.
It's the Middays with Marks YouTube chat recap.
Hit me.
Are there any other kids that are in the Make-A-Wish Foundation? How sick is Dutz that he keeps coming back? If Bayless from the YouTube chat.
If Bayless, listen, I will say this. I don't like when people say that somebody's a cancer, and I don't like when you use the Make-A-Wish Foundation because there are a lot of kids that are in the Make-A-Wish Foundation that have terminal illnesses and things like that, and it's not something to be made fun of. Yeah. But he is a young whippersnapper.
I liked the 1-800 Cars for Dutz. That was more
perfect.
That was more for me, or whatever it was.
Cars
1-877 Cars for Dutz. I saw that. Was that either a YouTube comment or a tweet? I like that one better.
Do you have any pictures of you in high school that I can see? Can you send me?
I look the exact same.
No, but I want to see
last year.
I want to see. No. Send me a picture when you were 16.
All right.
I know what you look like. And by the way, we didn't even talk about it again today. You know, Dutz and his girlfriend broke up.
I heard that last week when he was producing you guys.
And I didn't dig any further.
I wanted to like, hey man, is everything all right? I had no idea. Because he had been saying, like, we typically do it, like, what's your weekend plans? And he's done a couple of the, not too much. I've been wondering. That makes sense.
Not sharing details.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm not like Ray going out pulling every night. I can't. I'm not like Ray. Can't be like Ray.
So Dutch, just so you know, and this is for real. If you ever need to talk to anybody, Ray's available because he went through a very tough breakup that he's still not over. Some people are saying.
I know. I witnessed it on air, John.
He was. You actually
were on our show.
You weren't here for it.
I was here. It was on Mike's show, wasn't it?
That wasn't a breakup. That was just
that was the Bill
situation.
Yeah, that's where Bill accelerated the breakup, I guess.
That was where Bill avoided me having to go through a breakup because he broke it off.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
Dutz reminds me a bit of Michael Jackson post-surgery. JM from the YouTube chat.
Post-surgery.
That's a tough one to take. Can't lie to you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'd be okay with it. It's still Michael Jackson. Listen, people are calling you like, Hair Jordan is your new nickname. That is a great nickname, and it's comparing you to the best athlete, some say, of all time. Now you're being compared to the best artist of all time.
There you go, making waves.
That also had some pretty effed up things.
Yeah, I was going to say, not exactly the guy I want to be. If I want to be compared to one MJ, it'd be Jordan. Gambling, oh man, oh no.
All right, what's next?
Dutz was extremely confident in his bracket this year, but he foolishly picked Ohio State over TCU. His bracket dreams may be done after the first game again. Zach from the YouTube desk.
I mean, they're only down 5 right now, so I'm still holding out hope.
Silverstein with a good point.
Yep, because they were going back and forth yesterday. Yep.
Ohio State's made a comeback, and TCU's out of sorts offensively. I'm not loving this right now as someone with the Horned Frogs. This is not good.
Yep, Ray was bragging at the half. I told you.
It was a 15-point game. You would think these guys can. Oh my gosh, they're gonna blow it.
All right, so give me a TCU player.
Give me Xavier Edmonds.
Good answer. All right.
They're only down 2 right now. They're coming back, Johnny.
Oh, there you go.
Was it David Punch? Is the other guy that's front court?
Loved it. I was gonna say David Punch.
I figured you
stole
were.
my thunder.
Yeah, it seems like the guy that you would like.
All right, what's next?
This guy Dutz's nickname should be Pinocchio. Instead of his nose growing, his hair gets higher and higher when he's lying. Brendan from Promotions.
Petrilli hits him.
Petrilli is the person doing the least amount of work right now in the Delaware Valley. With all due respect to Petrilli.
No, he's not. There's a lot of guys out there, and I won't even say just guys. There's a lot of people out there that are quote unquote working from home that are no longer at home, and they're on their phone and and they're making sure that they're checking their email in case their boss emails them.
He brought the TV. Did you see his story today?
The video.
He brought the TV in his.
He
car.
did?
Yeah, he brought a TV with him today.
Good for him.
Yeah, right. That's what I said.
The work he did today, which is good content, was him making the video of him pulling the TV out of his car and sitting it at his desk.
And tagging the Fanatic on it.
That's great. That's great content.
He's got 3 screens going right now. He's like, if you want to come down to Promotions and watch, we got extra seat down here.
But you can also work while doing that.
He's got 3 screens going.
But the difference is, like, if you're with Philadelphia insurance companies and you're working in customer relations, you can't have 3 TVs at your desk. Here you can. Maybe. All right, what's next?
I agree with Ray. Did Houston call Reed when he was undrafted? No, the Eagles gave him an opportunity, and without that opportunity, he wouldn't have gotten the contract that he got with Houston. Philippe in Northeast Philly.
Philippe, I mean, he is fortunate that he landed with the Eagles and got the opportunity, but then he made the most of the opportunity.
Yeah.
But it was a great opportunity, being with the Eagles, winning a Super Bowl, going to another Super Bowl. Yeah, he got a big contract. I don't think you can say your life is set because you could easily blow the money, but he's going to be good. Reed Blankenship is now good. But that doesn't mean that you can't still feel unwanted. And he didn't say that. He didn't say the Eagles didn't want me. This isn't Will Smith yelling at his dad on The Fresh Prince. The Eagles weren't going to pay him. And I'm okay with Reed Blankenship if he felt a certain way about that. If he didn't feel wanted, this is the first time he felt wanted. Because the Eagles more or less are like, hey, yeah, like when you sign somebody who's an undrafted free agent, what does that mean? It means it's like, hey, here's your chance to make the team. Like, it doesn't mean anything. It means that if they were a player, the Eagles said, sure, we'll sign you. It doesn't mean anything. And then from there, he's got to earn it, and he earned it, and he earned the contract. The Eagles didn't bring him back. I'm okay if he says he hasn't felt wanted. You guys are babies. All you guys are big tough guy Eagles, Philadelphia sports fans. Never Jason Kelsey said no one likes us. We don't care. Oh, you care.
Oh no, we care. I can't lie on that. Yeah, I care.
We all care. So do I. We all care.
I care about what's about to happen with this game. This is ridiculous.
Well, here's the good news. You're going to get a chance to watch it.
I can't wait.
Because coming up next, this is a solo Calarulo. But Sil's here, and then I believe Nick Earnshaw is in as well. So solo Calarulo coming up next. He'll take you through the tournament. I'm sure he's leading off with something great. That's coming up next.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles make another move. I'm Brandon Dutz.